Hello and welcome everyone. We are just starting our event today for undergraduate international offer holders. We're expecting a fairly large number of you to join. So we're just gonna have about 2 minutes to make sure that everyone can enter the meeting. In the meantime, I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Melissa Abache. I'm the director of the International Student Recruitment Directorate at Koç University. You can see my contact details on the screen. And of course, our website. I'm sure many of you or all of you are familiar with our website and our team address. We will put all of this information about how to contact us after today's event at the end of today's session. We're gonna do some very brief housekeeping, give you some information to make sure that you're all on board in terms of how today's event is going to work. So please know that this webinar, this information session is being recorded and you're going to receive the video link one day later. It's going to be posted on our YouTube channel, but only, you can only view it because you're one of our undergraduate offer holders. We will have time for questions after each of the presentations from our different offices. And if you would like to ask a question, I would kindly ask you to please raise your hand and you will be unmuted by one of our moderators who are here from our team, or you can also type the question on the chat. If you have any individual questions about your specific offer or your very specific situation that you do not wish to be sharing publicly at the event, you can, of course, email us again to study@ku.edu.tr, and we can schedule a call in the next couple of weeks to answer specific questions. Just to run through today's schedule, we have a very packed agenda, but I think it's going to be quite useful for you as you are now admitted students to our university, and you're now looking forward to knowing what are the next steps in that process before you join our community. So right now we're doing our welcome and housekeeping. Then we are very honored to have Koç University's president, Professor Umran Inan, with us, who was very keen to meet virtually some of you, your early application offer holders. It's a very important group for us. So he's here to give you just some of, some inspiration for what's ahead of you as future university students at Koç University. Then we have some practical information sessions, which are about how you can accept your offer if you have not already done so, and how you can pay the tuition deposit, which is going to be done by one of my colleagues in the International Student Recruitment team. Then we have colleagues from the registrar's office and our international community office who are going to tell us how can you prepare for registration weeks? What are the documents that you need to start working on, the different things you need to prepare for. Then we will have our newcomers office. It's very important for you as a freshman, as a future freshman student to know about this, to know what happens during our undergraduate freshman orientation. And then something that I'm really excited about, which is we have a colleague from our academic and life skills office who is going to give us a master class in terms of how to get ready for university life. This is more about the type of, how can you prepare for what's coming, because it is a big change in your life. And it's not always easy, especially if you're moving from a different country to come and live in Istanbul, and if it's the first time that you're moving abroad. So I think that's going to be a very valuable session for you to join. Then we are also extremely lucky to have some of our freshmen and some sophomore and junior international students who are going to share their experience of their specific major at Koç University, and also of being a member of that specific college. So at that point, we're going to break into different rooms, and I will explain again how it's going to work. It's very easy. You just choose a room and join there. And again, our colleagues will be moderating the session there. It's a really good opportunity to ask questions, not so much related to the other things we have covered before, but more about, their favorite classes, electives they have taken, extracurricular activities they have joined, and anything else you might want to ask. Then finally, we also asked if you wanted to invite your parents to join this session, because they might have some specific questions, perhaps about tuition or about housing and other more practical matters. So we will have time for that also. at the end of the session, and a final Q&A. So with that, before I introduce our president, I just wanted to share one of my favorite pictures of Istanbul. And our hope is that, of course, this fall semester, you will be able to see this view. I think this is taken, I think, from a drone, but this is Ortaköy. And for those of you who have never been to Istanbul, I know most of you have at some point been to Istanbul, but I hope you will get to enjoy not only our campus, but also our beautiful city this fall. And if not in this fall, then, at least the spring semester next year. I'm sure you have already seen all of our, campus aerial videos and virtual campus tours, but it's something that we never get tired of, which is showing our beautiful campus. It's a thing that, the first time you come here, it really takes your breath away because of the beautiful architecture, the environment that it's surrounded by, the facilities, our hospital, which you may not have visited yet, especially if you're one of our new medicine students. So this is just a kind of glimpse that we always like to remind you of. This is what's waiting for you as well. Just a couple of very practical things. You will be receiving a lot more communications via email from our registrar's office with detailed instructions, but you can start to look at some of the information from two main websites. One of them is registration.ku.edu.tr and studentguide.ku.edu.tr. As I said, this webinar is being recorded and you will be able to watch this and receive this information afterwards as well. In terms of, there are some unknowns at this point, of course, which is, for example, when is the registration week going to be? We don't know yet. Our registrar's office, of course, will be publishing the dates once they become official or published in early summer. Right now, the first day of classes for the 2021-2022 academic year, it's scheduled for the 13th of September. So usually the registration day for new students, international students, would happen at the end of August, sometimes earlier, also in the middle of August. But please know that we are going to be informing you of all of that, okay? This is just for you to have an idea of what you need to start planning in terms of your, whether it's the registration document for the high school diploma. We will talk about that in more detail in a session later with our registrar's office. The other big question, which I'm sure it's in your minds, it's whether the semester is going to be, face-to-face, online, hybrid. The answer is we don't know yet. And of course, we have our president here who is also informing our current students about the situation. But I think we're carefully optimistic that if things get a bit more under control in Turkey, we would be able to at least offer part of our activities on campus this fall. But as I said, it's not guaranteed, and it all depends on the overall situation in Turkey and what the Turkish Higher Education Council will determine for all Turkish universities. So with that, that's the practical part of today. I'm really excited to now introduce you to our Koç University president. I'm going to ask him to, yes, you're muted. So Professor Inan has been president of Koç University for more than 10 years now. When I joined Koç University in 2014, I think you had already been there for a few years, and he is truly an inspiring university president for all of us as workers at the university, and I know that for our students as well. He hasn't had the easiest of times in the last couple of years, of course, because of the global situation with COVID and managing all of that change process in a very quick way. But one thing I know is that, like his belief in the importance and the value of internationalization is key to why Koç University is where it is right now. A big part of that, of course, is you as international students who are going to join our campus. And there's a lot to be learned from him and all of our faculty members, and he will tell you, from his perspective as well, what to expect. So with that, I don't want to say anything else. So Umran Bey, if you would like to address our newly admitted undergrad students, I would give you now the floor.
Thank you very much, Melissa. I'm extremely pleased really to be here and to welcome to our university these newly admitted international students. You are at a very special place. You have been admitted to a very special university. Koç University is like a shining light, and it's like an island in all of Turkey. Really, I think if you, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that if you look at the scene of universities in Turkey, it is as if there is a super league in which there is only one team. We are far and above all of the other state universities and foundation universities. Foundation university concept, which is not in existence in some places in Europe even, is very important here, because as a foundation university, we are not shackled by government bureaucracy. We need to, of course, obey the rules and regulations of the government in some areas, but in many other areas, we make our own path. I came to Koç University after spending 36 years at Stanford University as a professor there. And as you know, Stanford University is in the Silicon Valley. It's the most creative and innovative place in the world. So I'm all for innovation, creativity, and renewal. So whenever I see something standing still, whenever I see status quo continuing, I get very uncomfortable. So what we do at Koç University, you see, is we admit students through the national exam in Turkey, and we admit students like we did you through evaluation of applicants in the international scene. The ones we admit in Turkey come by taking an exam, a central exam that is taken by 2 million students every year, 2 million high school graduates. And all of the students that enter this university, nearly all of them, are in the top 5% of this 2 million students. And half of them are in the top 2%. So these are extremely highly qualified students. So the students, colleagues that you will rub elbows with are of greatest quality. So I think you can be sure of the fact that you are in good company. The faculty, so outside of the medical school, 90% of our faculty have PhDs from the university, from the United States. Not 85%, 90%. So they're all very young and vibrant people. Each of them we hire with global searches. When we do a global search, we typically have 30, 40, 50 applicants. And then we choose among them 3 or 4, bring them to our campus, evaluate, interview, and then make offers. Now, when a faculty member gets an offer from Koç University, he or she usually has several other offers from other universities around the world, and they choose this university because of the way we administer the university, because of the opportunities that we provide to them. And the way we administer is very simple. We hire the best faculty that we possibly can. We get the best students that we possibly can, and then we get out of their way. We don't lead them. We govern by not governing. We create the freest environment for the students and faculty to go in directions and pathways that they want to, pathways and directions that they choose to. And then we support them in doing what they want to do. We don't want to dictate to them the way things are done at this university. We don't have that. It's a free environment. You do whatever you want to do, and we provide the support within rules and regulations with all and utmost flexibility that we possibly can. As Melissa mentioned, we view university education as an interview between generations. It is really a rendezvous between my generation, the professors, and your generation, the young students, who are going to make their passage from 18 years of age to 22 years of age, an extremely important period in human life, where you transition from being a youth to being an adult. And as you make that transition, we will tell you when you come here also that it is very important for you to not focus just on your classes, just on your academics, but take advantage of the nearly 70 to 80 clubs that we have here for cultural, social, and sports activities. Because what makes it as a whole, what makes a person successful as a whole, is the combination of all of those. This is also an interdisciplinary environment. We also want the students to not focus on their major. We have a liberal arts core in this university. So whatever department you are in, it could be psychology, engineering, or social sciences, or medicine. The first year, nearly all students take about the same classes. They are exposed to the cumulative human knowledge that has developed over centuries in areas of, like, for example, ethics, a little bit of economics, a little bit of psychology, you see, a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of math. And after you're exposed to all of these, then you focus on your depth areas in your particular discipline. That way, when you graduate from Koç University, you have the opportunity to view opportunities that come in front of you and dangers that might come in front of you with a much broader perspective than your particular department. Koç University graduates are now extremely popular and in demand in industry all across any department. You can be graduate of history or engineering or whatever. You are in demand simply because you're a graduate of Koç University. And it's really an exciting place. We look forward to seeing, and as Melissa said, we are very much, we are doggedly intent on maximizing our international posture. We want as many international students as we possibly can. Of course, we have bars because you have to survive in our classes. Because our classes, remember, I told you more than half of our students are in the top 1 to 2%. All of our students are in the top 5% of high school graduates in Turkey. So you have to survive in those classes. It's not, you can't just lie down and have a vacation at Koç University. But what you do at Koç University will undoubtedly carry you forward to many other opportunities at the graduate studies or employment upon your graduation. So we hope that as you look and evaluate and listen to my colleagues today, you learn more about the Koç University and come back with questions. And when you come here, we will tell you that we want to get better and better. So what we will ask you to do is never withhold from us your critical comments, your suggestions, because remember, it's not a static place. We want this to be a completely and continuously developing, exciting institution as it is, so that it continuously renews itself, rejuvenates itself, and gets better and better and better. So our graduates are going to be the most sought out people in the world at large. And they already are, but they will be more and more so in the future. So congratulations for being admitted to a university like this. We have a fantastic campus, second to none in the region and in Turkey, both in Turkey and in the region, second to none. So, and we have a faculty that is second to none. We have, just in terms of that faculty, it's a simple fact, for example, that of all the competitively acquired research and development funding that comes from all of Europe to all of Turkey, 30% comes to this university. No other university receives more than 15%. Most of those other universities are 5 times our size. So this small university is a beacon of light. It's a research university that is excellent across all of its disciplines. Medical school is outstanding. Engineering, School of Engineering is outstanding. School of Science is outstanding. School of Social Sciences and Humanities is outstanding. School of Administrative Sciences and Economics is outstanding. School of Law is outstanding. School of Nursery is outstanding. You see, they're all outstanding. So again, congratulations. Thank you very much for your interest in Koç University. And please take my best wishes with you and stay healthy in these difficult times. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Umran Bey, for addressing our newly admitted students. We're going to let you go because we know that even on Saturdays, your agenda is super busy. So we will continue the agenda for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So with that, I hope that you enjoy meeting our president. Of course, as Koç University students, you will be hearing from him more once you start via email at events, and of course, the rest of our faculty members, deans, and directors. Now, I would like to go on to the next part of our event, which is a very practical kind of information to you in case you have not accepted your offer yet, or you are in the process of accepting it or paying the tuition deposit. So I'm going to ask my colleague Efe Jarlik. I think some of you already have met him, you know, back in your country or via email. So Efe, if you can show us how the process is done on our online application system, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Melissa. Welcome, everybody. This is Efe, and we are so happy to have you here. Congratulations again. It's a very important day for us to having the first meeting with you. As Melissa introduced, let me show you very basically like how you can accept your offer if you haven't do that yet, and how you can pay the deposit payment. I'm sharing my screen to show the system with the test applicant. I think you can see my screen right now. This is how your application system will look like when you get the acceptance. And in here on the left hand side in the offer section, you see your offer for the program that you apply. It might be more than one. In here, if you haven't accept or reject or make a decision about your offer yet, you need to do it in a certain deadline. As the test applicant, it says as advised to decide before 15 May. It varies based on the acceptance date, based on the date you get your acceptance. From that step, you should continue like, okay, continue to step 2. And in here, the system is asking you like, what is the decision? Like, what is your decision about the offer you have? And this is the way how you can accept the offer that you get from Koç University. When you click this one for business administration, I have decided to attend your institution, then say my choice and finish. Now you accepted the offer that you got from Koç University. And in here, when you accept the offer, you will be appointed with the tuition deposit payment. And on finances, some of you have applied with an application fee, and you already been here as the finances section to pay your application fee. In here, again, from the same area, you will be appointed for a deposit payment for your offer. And this is again in Turkish TL, and it's 7,690 Turkish TL. And this amount will be deduced from your tuition payment when you are enrolling, like from your first semester tuition payment. This amount will be deduced. Like it is not an extra payment. It's a part of the first payment. And from here, by click to pay online, you will be able to pay your tuition deposit via your credit card or bank card, debit card. And again, as I said, it's a very brief introduction about how to accept your offer and make the payment. Please, as Melissa mentioned in the very beginning, if you have any problems by accepting your offer or making the deposit payment, you can let us know whenever you want, and we would love to help on individual cases.
Thank you very much, Efe. Just one thing, We know that there are some of you who are currently in countries where not so much to pay for the tuition deposit, but later on to pay for your first semester tuition, you may need a pro forma or like an invoice from the university to show at the bank in order to make a bank wire transfer. So please know again, this is all going to be in the information you're going to be sent and on the registration.ku EDUTR website. That is possible. Our student accounting team in the finance directorate will be able to support you in that process. However, I mean, for the tuition deposit, the pro forma invoice is the one that you see on the system, okay? So if you have any questions, for example, if you got stuck at some point trying to do that, please email us and we will look into your specific application and see if there's a technical issue or if it's something non-technical, okay? With that, as I said, at any point you can, for example, write some questions on the chat section. We will be keeping note of those questions to answer them at the end of the event, all, you know, one by one, okay? Now we're going to move on to the next part of our agenda. We have two of our colleagues, Mr. Çağrı Yaşaroğlu from our registrar's office and Mr. Sikri Demircan from our international community office. They're going to tell us about how to prepare for registration week. The first part is very important that you pay attention to, even though this information is going to be also online, because it tells you what to expect in the next few months, okay? So I'm going to ask Çağrı to first share his screen. I think you have a presentation, and then we will, after your presentation, then we will ask Sikri to then share his presentation.
I hope everyone can see my screen without any problem.
Yes, you can make it full. Yes, perfect.
Welcome everyone. This is Çağrı Yaşaroğlu from Registrar's Office. I might have met you during your registration application processes. So I'm going to briefly talk about the registration process, but please keep in mind that it may subject to changes given the circumstances surrounding the COVID pandemic. So first of all, welcome and congratulations to Koç University on your acceptance to Koç University. Registration period, as Melisa has mentioned earlier, is currently unclear, as this is generally contingent on the timeline of the domestic generalized university placement examination processes. So we will keep you updated on this issue regularly, and timely information will be published on registration.ku.edu.tr. Today I will try to demonstrate how to register to Koç University and to utilize online registration. I'll be talking about for now, and to utilize Koç University information system, KUSIS, upon your registration. I'll begin by defining KUSIS in detail. What is KUSIS? KUSIS is an abbreviation of Koç University's information system, which you can utilize this for course planning and enrollment purposes, displaying your grades and weekly schedules, and filing petitions to various academic and administrative units. What is KUNet ID? As you can see at the right hand bottom of the page, this is a KUNet ID and KUNet password. That KUNet ID is your username, which will enable you to log into our essential online portals required for you to benefit information technology services during the course of your time at Koç University. In addition to gaining access to KUSIS, you will be able to use your KU KUNet ID for your KU affiliated email address, wireless internet, printers, Google applications, library resources, and computers in common areas, and request tracking systems as well. Once the classes begin on campus, hopefully we will start giving classes online for the upcoming semester, hopefully, once the pandemic is over. QNET ID and password information will be sent to you via an SMS and email prior to registration. You can then log into our online student system with the information provided. In case we won't be able to carry out registration procedures on campus, all accepted students will be assigned an online matriculation information form, matter form, on QSIS after we have received the approval of payment receipt from our finance department. Registration procedures can only be completed after filling out this matriculation form. This form is an integral and essential part of the registration process. The form may require the provision of personal information. Registration procedures may be carried out on campus after taking necessary cautionary measures. However, for the time being, we are inclined to conduct this process online. For applicants who are yet to obtain a valid test score or equivalent certificate, registration procedures will be completed by receiving a signed written commitment letter from your site, which specifies the date on which they agree to submit the missing documents to online, registrars and students affairs directorates via email. Note that this date will correspond to the first day of classes, which is September the 13th. Kindly visit registration.ku.edu.tr for detailed information on the submission of required documents and necessary steps for the completion of your registration. For the time being, the piece of information that you can find on this website is for the 2020 fall incoming students. So this site will be updated for the incoming students shortly. And about the required documents that you will need to upload to the system via the web page that I just mentioned. The official high school diploma or recently graduation documents, certificate of achievement is not taken into consideration. Original ID or passport, sealed and approved official transcript of courses and grades, biometric photos, residence permit. Of course, this was again applicable for last year's registration. It may due to change. Like I've said, I've mentioned priorly. A copy of your Mavi card, if available. It's applicable only to students who have been Turkish citizens by birth, but have ceased to be a Turkish citizen with the permission stated at the Article No. 28 of Law No. 5901. And if applicable, the receipt of the first installation tuition payment. You can see that the Koç Group companies will be provided on discounts for some amounts. So I didn't include the denklik or equivalent certificates in the required documents because just let me mention what is the denklik equivalent certificates. The students who have graduated from a high school abroad are requested to provide normally provide a high school diploma equivalency certificate besides the official high school diploma that I mentioned in my previous slide. But for the time being, all accepted admitted students for fall 2020 are expected to, who hasn't provided and their denklik certificates are allowed to submit their official high school diplomas to consulates and embassies in their country of residence, and then the diplomas will be delivered to our university by a diplomatic courier, and then we will manage the denklik process on behalf of the students because of the ensuing global pandemic situation. So this can also due to change this denklik processes. And who can apply? Applicants who are currently studying at international private primary and secondary schools located in Turkey, as well as primary and secondary schools located in Turkey or abroad, and embassy schools can apply for denklik. But like I've said, just now, Denklik processes are due to change, and you are advised to start this procedure to apply to the consulates and embassies in your country of residence and submit your official high school diploma if issued to them, and they can send it to us. So the Denklik process on behalf of you we can initialize the process before the registration period starts. It's important. So as I conclude my presentation, I wish you the best of luck, and please stay healthy.
Thank you very much, Chari, for your informative presentation. I know we wish we could give you more certainty about some of these procedures at this point. However, we can't. That's the simple answer. However, as Chari mentioned, the current procedure that is being that the Turkish Higher Education Council is asking universities to apply is to tell our admitted students, for example, those that were admitted last year, those who couldn't obtain a high school equivalent certificate yet, to send their diplomas to the Turkish consulates and embassies, and then we will process that document on their behalf. This is usually every year, I mean, not only this year because of the pandemic, but every year that's the procedure that takes the longest time to finish for international students who are, residing outside of Turkey. So this is why we advise that you make sure that you do everything possible to obtain your high school diploma or graduation certificate as soon as you can from your school. And also our colleague, now I don't want to take more time from our International Community Office presentation that's coming up, because we do get a lot of questions about this. And this year, of course, there's more uncertainty, but our general advice is to please try to obtain your diploma as soon as you can. If it needs to be, for example, like apostilled or translated, start doing that early so that you don't have to rush and miss the original registration week days or days because of that. Okay. So now I'm going to warmly welcome our colleague Sikri Mertemirjan from our International Community Office. This is an office that you're going to be hearing about a lot during your years at Koç University. They do a great job in terms of making you all feel part of our community and looking out for you, basically. So I'm going to, I think, Sikri, if you can open your microphone.
Yes, hello.
Perfect.
I'm trying to share my screen.
Let me just check.
No.
I think you should be able to. Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you, Melissa, Efe, and Ahmet, for organizing such an event. I think this is really beneficial for the prospective students. And also, I would like to welcome the new students to this information session. And I would like to congratulate them on their acceptance at Koç University. So since we have really limited time, I will be kind of fast. So please slow me down if you feel that my speech is a bit fast. What I am going to talk about today is, first of all, I will introduce our office, International Community Services Office, and I will give you some information about what kind of services we provide you, really briefly. And then I will talk about the entry regulations to Turkey, because most of you are really curious about what kind of visa you will get, how you will enter Turkey. I will answer those questions. I will give you the related information about that. And then for your after arrival period, I will briefly talk about residence permit application, because if you are not a Turkish citizen, or you don't have, if you don't have any Turkish citizenship, or you don't have a blue card, which means that you are totally international community member, you will apply for a residence permit, and this is very important. And then I will give you the health insurance options that you have here for your residence permit application. And briefly, I will give you a hint about mobile device registration, because I believe this is kind of an important aspect of your life after your arrival. So let's start with our introduction, introducing our community. So we are the International Community Services Office, which is also called ICO. And we serve the Koç University International Community since 2014. Not only students, but also we serve the faculty members, researchers, interns, you name them, any international community member we serve. At the moment, we are 2 at our office. We have 1 specialist, Ayhan Şeker, who he is not here today, unfortunately. And I am working in this office as well as an assistant specialist. And my name is Zikri Mert Demircan. One of our main responsibility is to provide immigration advising to the community members by providing pre and after arrival support, actually, like regarding visa applications, residence permit applications, other international services. We are the correct office to contact. And we develop resources like legal or social resources to facilitate your life in Istanbul and in Turkey, and also in campus, on campus, actually. And also we create intercultural sensitivity and cross-cultural programs to enhance integration of those international members to the local culture and local community here. To do so, we create some programs, some events. Of course, after your arrival, you will hear much more about our events and programs, and we will be really happy to see you participate in them. We are really looking forward to meet you next semester. To sum up, actually, what we do is we try our best to facilitate your life in Istanbul, in Turkey. So if you have any life-related question, visa or residence permit application-related questions, this is the correct office to contact. You can see our email address here, icu@ku.edu.tr. You are more than welcome to contact us anytime about any question. Even though you don't know which office you need to contact, you can contact us so that we can direct you the correct, accurate offices. So let's talk about the entry types to Turkey, because there are several different types. First step you need to take to learn is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, because they have a list of country-specific entry rules. On this website, you can find the information regarding your country, and then proceed with the correct visa type that I will explain now. So basically, we have 3 types of entries to Turkey. So first one, and the first recommendation of our office is touristic purpose electronic visa for study. Even though you are student, you will be student in Turkey, you can enter Turkey as a tourist with a visa or without a visa, because at the end of the day, after your arrival, you will apply for a student residence permit, which will let you stay in Turkey legally for longer periods. So entering Turkey as a tourist is okay. And if you are eligible for electronic visa, that is perfect, because it is really easy. Within 3 minutes, actually, you can obtain your electronic visa. On the right side, you can see the sample of this visa type, and you will just print it out and enter Turkey with this. That's really easy. And the best part about this visa type is that it has multiple entry right, which means that if you need to depart from Turkey because of any emergency back home and before you get your residence permit, you can do so because you have multiple entry right. Within the given period, you can depart and enter Turkey anytime you want. Mostly it is given for 90 days within 180 days. And that validity starts from the first entry date. And total days in Turkey cannot exceed 90 days. Which means that after you enter Turkey, you have 90 days to be legally stay in Turkey, to stay legally in Turkey. And within these 90 days, you will apply for a student residence permit, and we will inform you about this. We will have info webinars. We will be mailing you about these instructions and everything. You will know what to do. But for now, just to have this glimpse of this type of visas, that's important to mention this. And also I want to mention here that there are some non-official websites for obtaining electronic visa. So this is the correct website for to obtain electronic visa. You don't have to rush and write down this right now, because in the ministry's website. There you can find the correct link, correct website as well. So you are safe. Just make sure that this is official. So if you are not eligible for electronic visa, the second type of visa is student visa, which is obtained from a Turkish mission, a consulate or embassy. In that case, you need to contact the Turkish mission, but you don't know which Turkish mission is close to you. So there is a website under this presentation, konsolosluk.gov.tr. So this website, you can find the closest Turkish mission to you and also the contact information, and contact them and ask any questions you have about student visa and apply for a student visa there. You can start the process. The acquisition period may take up to 2 months. So please be aware of this time gap and act on time, apply on time. Some Turkish missions may require visa support letter from universities. In that case, please directly contact us from the email address I gave you. You will know our email address. And within a week, we will prepare a visa support letter to you and send it to the consulate and also to you. It takes 1 week because we have to prepare the document and also we need to collect the signatures. So we need 1 week at least. Please mind this. The feature of this visa type is that it is single entry, which means that once departed, your next entry requires a new visa. Just please note that that is important feature of this kind of visa. And the third option we have is without visa. You can enter without visa to Turkey if you are one of the nationalities that Turkey allows to enter Turkey. That Turkey allows you to enter Turkey freely without a visa. Some nationals are allowed to enter Turkey with only their national IDs or driver's licenses. You can do so in normal times, but you are a student, and you will apply for a student residence permit. And to be able to apply student residence permit, you must enter Turkey with a passport. So even though you can enter Turkey with your national ID, please don't do that. You need to enter Turkey with a passport, and we advise you to have a passport valid at least for 1 year to be on the safe side, because with that passport, you will apply for a student residence permit. Longer is better. Your passport validity is important here. The feature of this visa-free entrance is kind of same with the electronic visa. The total days, it is mostly given for 90 days as well. I just want to summarize here because this is important. The first step is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, finding your country in the list and then proceed. So this is the procedure for entering Turkey for now. And okay, you got your visa, you arrived in Istanbul, but how to arrive on campus, how to arrive to campus. On our website, I told you that we develop resources. On our website, we have resources menu on the top, and there you can find many resources that we have. And there you can find arriving on campus, where you can find our instructions on how to come from Istanbul Airport and also Sabiha Gökçen Airport to campus. So it's very convenient. Please check this information. Also check this website, our website. This is very convenient and useful, and it's really beneficial for you. And also we have the instructions on checking in. So please visit our website and have a look at it. You will be benefiting from it pretty much. Let's continue with the residence permit application. As I told you, if you are not a Turkish citizen or if you don't have any blue cards, you have to apply for a student residence permit by law, because you will be studying at Koç University in Istanbul, in Turkey, for longer than 3 months, which exceeds your visa period. So you have to apply for student residence permit. You can find the detailed information on our website, but today I will briefly give you an image on how to proceed with this application. And after your arrival, of course, we will reach you via emails and webinars and introduce whole process to you. So at the moment, you don't have to take any action. but after your arrival, you will apply for student residence permit. Please note this. This is very important. So three steps for this process actually. First, you need to apply, but how? You have to fill out an online application form and print it out and sign it. This is the first document. And then you need to start collecting the required document, which is listed on our website. And then you need to submit all papers to us. Please note that student residence permit applicants cannot submit their application documents individually to the authorities. They must submit their applications through universities. So our office is the only office that you can submit your application files. So this is us to submit. This is university related application. This is not individual. Please contact us if you have any questions. Of course, we will contact you after your arrival. We will be in touch, of course, during this process. And also I want to note that we have only one day to collect the application papers. And we usually announce that specific date and time at the beginning of each month through several platforms that we have. We have a temporary WhatsApp group, we have Instagram account, we have mailings, we have bi-weekly news updates. We have all the platforms that we can, and we announce the specific date there. Please stay tuned about this date. And it may take up to 2 months to receive your card. So please note that it's not like 1 week thing. It takes approximately like maximum 2 months. And collecting your card, your cards will be delivered to the university because it will ask you to provide the university address in your online application form. And it is the registrar's office that you will collect your card from. This is not our office, but the registrar's office will notify you via an email to collect your card from them. So you will follow up the collection period of your new residence permit card with the registrar's office. I don't know how many of you are below 18, but I have to highlight this. If you are below 18, you need to bring 2 extra documents, 2 documents from your hometown, from your home country. One, apostilled birth certificate, and the second is apostilled consent letter signed by parents. Those are really, really important for residence permit application. The consent letter basically must state that your parents individually are aware of the fact that you are going to Turkey, to Istanbul, and stay there for your studies at Koç University, and they have consent on this, and they will financially support you. The consent letter must state this. So those 2 apostilled certificates that you need to bring. But what is an apostille? Let's briefly talk about this. The apostille is attached to your original document to verify it is legitimate and authentic, so it will be accepted in one of the other countries that are members of the Apostille Convention, and Turkey is one of the members of this Apostille Convention. If you have any questions about these apostille documents, if your country is not a party to Apostille Convention, please immediately email us and we will direct you to the correct, accurate resources. More information you can find on our website. And also one extra point I want to make here is that you will make a payment for the permit card fee because you are applying for a residence permit card. The card fee you need to pay. And since you are below 18, if you are below 18, you don't have the authority to do so. So you can ask a friend to do so, or you can simply contact us and we can help you, we can assist you with this payment. And to be able to make the payment, you have to have a tax ID number. I'm not mentioning it here because it's online process and all information can be found on our website. It is really easy. I'm not mentioning it here. You will know when you are here about the whole process, so it is going to be fine. That is not complicated. It is a really easy process, and we are here to guide you, so you don't have to concern about this residence permit application process. So for those documents, first, you have to obtain them. You have to find the authority in your country and obtain those two documents. You have to bring the original ones. And then once you are here, you have to get them translated and notarized at the notary public in Turkey. And along with other documents, other residence permit application documents, you need to submit them to us if you are below 18. Okay, let's talk about health insurance. This is kind of our motto now. Health has the utmost importance in life, of course, and please make sure you are covered during your stay in Turkey. That is really, really important, especially during these pandemic times. For your residence permit application, we have an insurance compliance letter, which is only one page. You just print it out and sign it, that's all. That letter basically says that you are declaring that you will obtain health insurance within 3 months of your arrival, and that is enough for your residence permit application. However, for your own safety, and also as you promise in this compliance letter, you have to get health insurance. That's one of the musts, of course. But what are your options? I believe that as an international student who is coming to Turkey, most of you already have international insurance, which is good, which is nice. However, for residence permit application, international insurance is not sufficient. You have to get a Turkish health insurance in Turkey. That's why we guide you to purchase private student health insurance in Turkey. Of course, we have some recommendations on our website, and also you are free to find the agencies yourself and contact them and obtain insurance. You can check our website to find our recommendations. But in this presentation, actually, I want to note that we do not assist or assume any responsibility with health insurance. You must contact the agencies, follow through all transactions, and make sure you understand the policy coverage very well. So I want to highlight here is that health insurance is your responsibility. Of course, we have recommendations, but that is your responsibility. And also you have second option. If you are from a European country that has a bilateral social security agreement with Turkey, you can benefit your local state insurance as if you are in your country. You can benefit it in Turkey as well. That is called home country social security, and also it is called formula. In that case, you must obtain this formula, this document, from your local social security office before you arrive. That document must have the agreement code. I will show the example of this. And then you need to bring the original version. And this is the example from Austria. Austria has bilateral social security agreement with Turkey, and on the top right corner you can see the code. So this is the formula. This is the document that you need to bring if you want to benefit your local social security in Turkey too. Okay, I think I covered the most of the important stuff here, but last hint I want to give you. Since you will stay in Turkey for longer than 4 months, you are obliged to register your mobile device, your mobile phone. Otherwise, after 120 days, your mobile device will be blocked for its calling features. You cannot use your phone to call someone else. To prevent it, you need to register your mobile phone. And the registration fee costs around $240 US. So please mind this. You can either register your mobile phone after your arrival, or you can purchase new one. This is a small hint that our office wants to give you. Please note this as well. And if you have any questions, I will be really happy to answer them now. But if we don't have time, please forgive me if I exceeded my time. But you are more than welcome to contact us through this email address. And please follow us on Instagram because we announced there pretty important announcements. And also we have some cultural awareness posts and projects there. We will be really happy if you follow us on Instagram too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sigrid. Yes, I think I have been noting the questions that you have been writing on the chat. So I think what we will do is after we finish our session about the newcomers orientation, we will read and answer all of those questions because they're all about practical aspects that we have covered so far, so that we can get into the state of mind of our academic and life skills office speaker, Pinar Hojan. Which is, it's like switching gears. So thank you so much, Sigrid. One thing I want to mention about ICO today, of course, you have talked about the practical things, but, this office also arranges a whole host of amazing services and events, trips, for international students. So please make sure that you make the most of that resource that Koç University offers to international students. If you want to learn Turkish, they're doing, Turkish practice hours. There's conversation circles from Cold. They do these really nice trips in Istanbul, in Turkey. It's an opportunity to also meet our exchange students who are coming just for 1 or 2 semesters, our graduate students as well from other countries. So you will get to see once you're on their website, and especially on their Instagram account, all the really, really nice things that they do for international students. So thank you again so much, Sigrid. We will come back to you when we start doing the questions, okay? So please stay.
Thank you.
And now I have also the pleasure of introducing our newcomers office colleague, Mrs. Gökçen Beru. She's also been at Koç University for many years. She has met many, international students in that time, I guess more and more each year. And she's going to tell us, we titled this session, what happens before, during, and after the newcomers orientation. It's a crucial week to make sure that you have the best start to your university journey. And her team and her office are responsible for making that happen. It's a huge operation logistically, because it's not only international students. Here we're talking about all new undergraduate students who join Koç University every year. So I'm going to now please ask Gökçen to, I think you're unmuted now, perfect, to introduce yourself. And then if you want to share your screen, I think if you have a presentation, you can do that as well. And to give you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today as well.
Thank you, Melissa. Hi, everyone. Welcome once again. Congratulations on your acceptance to Koç University, and hope to see you all during the fall semester. So I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so I work at the Dean of Students office. I'm also a graduate of Koç University, and I've been working at this office for more than 10 years now. I'm the only administrative personnel, but I work with 145 mentors this year. Hopefully, we're going to increase the number of mentors next year with the new students. Under the Dean of Students office, we have 10 departments. My office, ALIS, Academic and Life Skills office, which you'll meet with one of the instructors, Pınar Hanım, after my presentation. Career Services, Office of International Programs, and ICO is part of that office. Extracurricular activities, student clubs. Scholarship Office, Counseling Services, Sevgi Gönül Cultural Center, Disability Services, and Sports, which includes the sports team and the sports center. Please check out our website later. And we also have a student guide website, which has all the information for prospective students and new students and second, third year, and fourth year students. So all of the undergraduate students are required to complete a course called Uni 101, Introduction to Koç University, which is a year-long course, and it starts with the new student orientation program. The fall semester, if you look at the academic calendar in our website, we plan to start the fall semester in September 13th, but the calendar might change. So we will definitely email you in August once we confirm the dates of the orientation. But the orientation program is a week before the school starts. And it helps, our aim is to help the students to make a transition from high school to Koç University. So we combine a lot of different activities with all the departments at Koç University. And we assign you an upper class mentor from your department. We have the selection process going on right now. And a faculty advisor, which is a professor from your department. Mentor students will be with you during your first year, and they'll also volunteer to assist you in your second or third year if they continue to be a student here. So just to briefly give you an overview of the Uni 101 program, which will take both semesters, both fall and spring. We start with the orientation program. You'll have meetings with your mentors and your faculty advisors throughout the academic year. This year we have everything online, but if the campus opens, you'll definitely have group meetings, one-to-one or group meetings face-to-face. So we also organize faculty seminars with each faculty with different topics. Student development seminars with student clubs, career development center, alumni relations, and any other office that wants to contribute to the program. We have online trainings with the library, health and safety on campus with Koç Office of Learning and Teaching, which has the tutoring center. They have 2 trainings for newcoming students, becoming a university student and plagiarism, sexual harassment awareness training, counseling services trainings, and we continue to expand those trainings with the feedbacks that we get from students. If we come to the orientation program, it's a week-long program, and it includes informational sessions regarding colleges and departments, course registration, international community office, dorms, library, international programs, IT, COLT, Learning and Teaching Office, Career Development Center, guidance and psychological services, and student clubs. So everyone at our university is involved in this program. They just give you a brief orientation and brief introduction about their services. And we later continue with those in the Uni 101 program. And you're part of a co-mentee group from your department or your faculty, and you'll complete the orientation program with your mentor and your co-mentee group. So once we assign you a mentor, and you need to complete your registration for us to assign you a mentor, before the orientation program. Once we assign you a mentor, your mentor contacts you, usually forms a WhatsApp group, and then the WhatsApp group is active throughout the year. If you have any questions, you also have Zoom meetings. The students had Zoom meetings this year, meetings with the advisors. So if you have any questions about anything related to your academic and your social life, your mentors are there to assist you. I usually start emailing the international students during the registration week and ask you several questions about your Turkish level, and when will you be arriving if the campus opens, do you have any special needs? So please respond to our emails, and this is my contact information. And that's it. I'm unfortunately unable to give you the details of the orientation program at this point, but we'll definitely share those with you before the orientation program starts.
Thank you very much, Gökçen. And yes, please do respond to their emails, because that's going to help her and your mentor to give you the best support possible in terms of groups, events, activities that you will need to attend during orientation, okay? So we are pretty much doing well in terms of time, but I want to make sure that we answer these sort of questions related to registration, residence permits, etc., that you have been writing on the chat. So I will start reading the questions, and I will ask our relevant colleague to then provide an answer to make sure that that they're clarified and everyone is on the same page. So I think we have a couple of questions about students who have received a conditional offer. Okay, so one question is, when do students who are conditionally accepted register? And there's another question, which is, so for example, like, what is the registration process for international baccalaureate students? Because you have received a conditional offer based on your predicted results. I think that's similar. That's a similar scenario for those of you who have applied with your predicted IB diploma final grade or your A-level grades. Okay, so most of you would have received a conditional offer. So in that sense, I'm going to ask our colleague Chare from our registrar's office to explain. But basically, you need to, once you have your final document, your official document with the grades that show that it matches what you wrote on the application, then our registrar's office will, what Chare was explaining, they will open the matriculation form and you will receive the Koç University student information system and QID so that you can log in and complete that matriculation form and then do the rest of the registration procedures. Did I get that correctly, Charlie?
Of course, Melissa, like you mentioned, once the official scores for IB, and it may be that the student may have applied with A-level scores. This also applies to A-level scores. So once they are official, they can just send a notification email or upload their official transcripts to the system. Then we will, if their official grades are in line with the predicted ones, then we will send them a full acceptance letter to the students. And this won't take, our registration period will start most likely near the end of August or early September. So their results will most definitely come out by that date. So registration process will be done smoothly, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there was another question here I skipped, which is, I'm a conditional offer holder. Will I get the option to accept my offer only after the final unconditional offer? Yes. So basically, yeah, by uploading your final diploma and grades to the system and notifying our registrar's office, they will change your offer type to full offer. And with that, then you can accept it, pay the tuition deposit, or if it's in that case, if we're already, at registration week, you just go ahead and pay the first semester tuition, okay? As will be instructed on the registration.ku.edu.tr website. There is a question here. I'm planning on doing double major, so do I accept both of the offers for the two courses? No. So you apply to two different majors, undergraduate majors, and you, in this case, congratulations, because it means you were accepted to both of them. You should accept the offer for the undergraduate program that you want to do as your main major, okay? And that's it. That's the only offer you accept. Once you are, a student during your freshman year, you will be given information from your college and also from registrar's office on how do you apply to do a second major, a double major, okay? And as I understand, Chara, that's possible after they have completed 2 semesters. And if they
after their one semester.
One semester, sorry. Yeah.
One semester, yeah.
Yeah, so it's something.
And their GPA should be above some certain level. This will correspond to 2.72 in order to apply. But it may change for the international students, since we normally request from students that they should be in the, they should be ranked. They should be ranked as Koç University. Yeah, national exam, yeah, placement exam. So this other scenarios may apply to international students, in addition to some certain GPA.
Okay, but yes, so for the person who was asking, so yes, you can do your double major, but you're going to apply for it after you have completed your first semester. For now, What you need to do is accept the offer of the program that is going to be your main, major, okay? There is a question, what is the offer reply deadline? As our colleague Efe explained, you would see the deadline on the system. So it depends on when you got the letter, then there is a certain period for you to reply to our offer. If there is a reason why you cannot make a decision yet, there is an option there in which you can mark, I haven't made up, I cannot decide yet. It may be that you're waiting maybe for some other offers or related to your family financial situation or travel plans, etc. That's okay. That's no problem. Please note that the reason we're asking you to mark your decision is so that we can plan ahead, especially, for example, our newcomers advising office, so we can plan ahead for the orientation program. So if you do not accept your offer by the deadline, is not the end of the world. It doesn't mean you're going to miss your place. This is applicable to a certain extent, for example, for all programs except for medicine. Medicine, it's a bit more delicate because there is a very limited number of accepted students and quota. So if you have a specific reason, you can, mark the decision in that way, and you can also let us know via email so that we can be aware of that. I mean our registrar's office, okay? There is a question here about Denklik. So where do we get the Denklik from? So this is from the Ministry of Education of Turkey. In normal years, students would go to the Ministry of Education office in Istanbul. They have a provincial directorate in Istanbul with the documents, and then they would get a letter from that says this person has applied for a Denklik. And with that, you can bring that back to the university, and that sort of, for registration purposes, that should be enough. This year, it might be too early for us to say if it will be able to obtain it electronically, or as my colleague Shari said, if you will be instructed to send your diploma to our university via a consulate, and then we apply on your behalf. So we will, keep you updated on that. Then we have another question here. My high school diploma is released on 12 August. So is that too late? I mean, it's a bit late, but not, again, it's not end of the world in the sense of being able to register, okay? Just as we said, try to make sure that as soon as you obtain your diploma, that you are aware of what you're going to have to do to obtain that Denklik, that high school equivalency certificate document. Is it correct to assume there is no need for Denklik if the student has obtained an international diploma such as International Baccalaureate? Charlie?
The student still needs to get a Denklik.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a, let's say, I wish it wasn't like this, but that's the current regulation in Turkey. So for any type of high school curriculum that you have followed, whether that's International Baccalaureate, GCSE, like A-level programs, you still need to obtain that Denklik document. And I think that answers the next question, which was similar to that. Then I have a question here for Sikri from our International Community Office. So if one gets the residence permit, he or she no longer needs a visa. It
Yes.
sort of replaces the...
Just reply that on the chat box. That's correct. Once you get your residence permit card, you do not use your visa, because residence permit card allows you to reside in Turkey as a student as long as the validity period of your residence permit card. And you can renew it as a student once it's time to renew it. And we will instruct you further about this renewal as well when it's time.
Okay, I think the next question is also for you. So it says, so please, correct. So
yes,
you have to enter Turkey.
So we have entered Turkey, apply for residence permit, and then send it to coach. Yes, to be able to apply for residence permit, you must be in Turkey already. And during the evaluation process of the application, you must be in Turkey. So you enter Turkey as a tourist with your visa or without a visa, and then apply for residence permit and submit the application papers to us in person, to our office. Yes.
Okay. We have a question then about medicine. So I'm going to ask the person who asked that to ask it in our breakout rooms when you join the medicine breakout room. Okay. Then I think we have answered the question about registration for international baccalaureate students based, that you're going to get your results in July, basically. So yes, we will hold your place until your grades are out, but you don't need to kind of panic or worry about that, okay? Can we go to the embassy to apply for a visa with a conditional
Yes.
offer letter?
For the conditional letter, I'm not sure, but you need to contact that specific embassy. But I think you need to accept your offer first and get the accept letter, not conditional letter. I'm not sure. You have to contact the embassy individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to add something here. So sorry, Zikri. Like when an embassy requires an acceptance letter from you, that they are looking for you will be attending Koç University 100% sure. But since you get a conditional acceptance, then it's not confirmed as a full acceptance. When embassy contact with us, we
Sure.
cannot guarantee that you are coming because of the technical issue. Like it's conditional still. That's why we suggest you to wait until you get your full acceptance.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question here.
Thank you, Can.
IB provides a system to send the official results to the universities. Does KU require this, or will the IB students submit the results themselves? Chari, if you can answer that.
Normally, we usually get the IB transcripts mailed out to the registrar's office, but the students also should upload their IB transcripts into the system in order to get full acceptance. I mean, first they should upload.
Okay. Perfect. I have a question here. I applied with A-level and SAT scores and got an unconditional letter. Does that mean my A-level grades won't affect my scholarship? Yes. So because it means you were evaluated on the basis of your SAT scores and everything else, your motivation letter, extracurriculars, etc. But you do need to have your final A-level grades to obtain that high school equivalency certificate to register. Okay. There's a question here. Are Turkish citizens required to take the Turkish proficiency exam? I'm not sure if you may have. I think this, if you apply to our School of Law, if that's your case.
And nursing.
Yeah, so I would ask you in that case, Charter, if you can.
I mean, if they have applied for law or nursing, and if they have completed their high school abroad, their, I mean, elementary school, middle school abroad, and they have no proof that they know Turkish, I mean, with transcripts or like this proficiency certificate, then yes, they should take Tömer or Yunus Emre.
Okay.
For these departments only, but for law and nursing.
Great. So I think we're going to do 3 more questions to make sure that we keep as much as possible to the schedule. So do we have to get our residence permit before the Denklik?
To get your residence permit, actually the main point, the essential point is that you must register at Koç University first. So you must be a Koç University student. If your Denklik doesn't necessarily affect your registration, maybe Çağrı can help me with this question. No, you don't have to wait for the Denklik. You can start your application, residence permit application.
I mean, the situation is a little bit ambiguous now because the students cannot get their Denklik the way they used to get. So they are now applying. They are, I mean, advised to apply to consulates and submit their official high school diplomas to them, and they will deliver it to us by a political courier, and we will manage Denklik processes. And that's the way it is now. I cannot say anything further.
Does it affect the registration process, Çağrı?
We will see. I mean, we will see. Normally, we get a signed document from the students that they will submit their Denklik certificates to us by a certain date. But now, YÖK,
Turkish Higher Education Council.
Yeah, a Higher Education Council has opted for another thing. The students, I mean, for fall 2021 admissions also, they can submit their official high school diplomas, and most likely we will manage the Denklik process.
I see.
There's a question, final, I think this is going to be the final one about Denklik. Is the process done online? At the moment, we don't know. In theory, they have the platform to do it online, but we don't know yet if for fall 2021 it will be active and working properly to be able to do the whole process online. Just one more question, which is about the English proficiency exams requirement in order to skip or not be asked to do the ELC preparatory English preparatory year. One is about IELTS score. Please note that IELTS is not accepted in Turkey by the Turkish Higher Education Council. So you cannot, I mean, you need to take our Koç University English Proficiency Exam, KUEPE. You will also find the details of this on the registration.ku.edu.tr website. They will announce the dates of the exam. For example, last fall, the exam was administered online for those students who were not in Turkey to take the exam also face-to-face. And they did some face-to-face exams, of course, with social distancing and etc. But that's the case. Another question is about TOEFL IBT Home Edition. Right now, we are also checking if the Turkish Higher Education Council will consider this an eligible English proficiency exam. In case it is not, again, you will be given the option to take the Koç University English proficiency exam, which then meets the requirement of our English proficiency to register as a student. Okay, so you do have that option as a student, and there is no cost to you as an admitted student to take the exam. Just make sure that you read the emails that will be sent from our English Language Center about the date of the exam, the requirements, the technical requirements, if it's going to be done online, being there on time. That's our advice, okay? So I'm sure we can answer some more questions at the end of the event. We have time for that. So with that, now I'm very, very excited to introduce Pinar Özbek. She's an instructor in our Academic and Life Skills Office under the Dean of Students. She's also a very inspiring person for me. She's not only an instructor in ALICE, she's also the instructor of our ballet class, which is a credit course at Koç University that you can take as an undergraduate student. If you want to talk about that, Pinar, please feel free to do so. But today she's going to kind of give us some information and ask some things of you as well. The idea is that it's going to be a bit interactive about how to prepare for university life. It's a big change and we will see here why. So I'm going to ask now Pinar to unmute herself. And if you want to share your screen, I think you should be able to do that. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Greetings to my colleagues, Melisa, Çağrı, Mert, Efe, Gökçen, Ahmet, and all. I think I have some former students and current students here. Hello, Elena and Javidan.
Hi, Professor. How are you?
Hi, Elena. Thank you. How are you? Kalispera.
Fine, thank you. Let me just open the camera.
Yeah, if everyone can actually open their cameras for a moment to just say hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. And it's very nice to meet you even electronically. Ahmet, Zeyna, Eray, Yalım, Ibrahim, Kamala, Can, Maria, Togrul, Can, Lana, Abdullah, Mert Yakup, Aylin Nil, Beg Bolatov, Mahnur, Ahmet Naif, Omar. Hello, nice to meet you. Doğa, Hafız Hamza, Deren, Abdullah, Aladdin, Kenan, Dana, Hanan, Eren, Melis, Wesam, and I think Levin is also a colleague. Hello, Levin, Naval, Suzan, Fares, and Arish, Abdulaziz, and Çelik. It's very nice to meet you. I am an instructor of academic and life skills under the Dean of Students with Gökçen, actually. I am a psychologist by training, and I've been at Koç University for the past 10 years now. I do teach courses related to academic and life skills. And as Melisa said, I've started ballet classes for credit at Koç University. That's been going on for 5 years now. I am always pleased to get together with international students. I'm currently teaching 2 sections of our course. to international full-time degree-seeking students like you will be shortly. And it's always a pleasure to work with them. I myself had some international exposure. I lived in New York for 3 years, studied at Columbia University in New York, and I did my master's in psychological counseling, worked at the United Nations, was part of an organization called International House. You know, some more international experiences beforehand. So it's a pleasure to work in Koç University, that is an international institution, and work with international colleagues and students. So let me tell you about our course, so you know what I'm doing at Koç, and then we'll proceed to what's on the agenda today. I teach a course called Academic and Life Skills 100 that all of you will be taking in September, hopefully, or in the spring semester, that focuses on skills such as time management, stress management, goal setting, communication, team membership, leadership, etc. So, you know, as you transition from high school to college, which can be very rewarding, but also very challenging, what we try to do is to equip you with the self-awareness and life skills needed for academic, social, and professional life. We also have classes that help transition from college to work life. That's later in your undergraduate career, where we focus on more advanced skills like project management, emotional intelligence, conflict management, etc. So that's, you know, what we do, and that's hopefully where we're going to meet again in the next academic year. So let me share my visuals. So we will talk about the experience of transitioning from high school to university. It is, again, I mean, you made it, so you can do it. That means Koç University decided that you are skilled enough to take on the challenges that the university demands of students academically, but it might be a bumpy road. It's a whole, you know, change in your life. Many of you are already transitioning to adulthood, and it's a lot of transitions at once. It's transition from high school to college, from one country to another, from a completely different educational system, etc. So it makes sense to expect some challenges. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between high school and university. At this time, I would like to ask you to provide your input through a poll. I'm sharing the link in the chat room now. So please type your ideas, and then I will reflect them all in the on screen. Here you go. It's a one-question poll in which I ask you to reflect on what's going to be different in college compared to high school. I'm sure you have friends who are already in college. You've heard a lot about college life from your peers, etc. So answers have started coming in. So let me share my screen so we all read together. Structure of classes and overall flexibility. That's very accurate. In high school, you get to have a set schedule, whereas in university, you have a lot of flexibility as to which classes you will choose, what time of the day you will take them, how many majors, minors, and track programs you're going to pursue. So you do have a lot of flexibility based on your preferences and career goals. More studying, definitely, especially outside the classroom. So in high school, you study more in class, but maybe less outside. This is the exact opposite, especially in universities, Anglo-Saxon universities that follow the liberal arts schedule on a semester basis. Everything runs very quickly. So a lot of professors expect you to do a lot of work outside and even come to class prepared, knowing the subject. So you get to discuss over it. So you don't learn the subject sometimes in class, but you have already read it and you start discussing it, trying to dive deeper with the help of an equipped professor. The environment is going to be different for sure. It's going to be a lot of change. It's going to be less homogeneous than high school. It's going to be very diverse in terms of personalities, backgrounds, and culture. That for sure. And the social life on campus is very, very engaging. No parents supervising your work and your life for that matter. So nobody tells you to study and study again, or wake up, or do your assignments, etc. And nobody also tells you to do laundry or to cook or anything. You have to just do them all by yourself. You have to manage your money by yourself, etc. We are more independent on dividing our time, for sure, as we mentioned. College will have more self-directed study compared to high school. College has a greater focus on extracurricular life than high school, especially Koç University, where there's a plethora of student clubs in so many different areas. I was talking with a Korean international student. I was telling them that I'm going to give this, facilitate this workshop. And then they mentioned that the university atmosphere is so diverse that you will definitely find like-minded people. You know, politically, your stance in life, the causes, the social causes that you care about, your passions, sports, arts, etc. There will be someone who is, sharing them with you. Complete strangers, for sure. And sometimes, especially in large classrooms, they do remain strangers. So in high school, you get, you're more or less familiar with most people in your classroom, whereas in university, it's not like the same cohort takes every class at the same time, especially in the, except in the ELC program, the English language program, if you're going to get through it. But for sure, there is less of an interaction, except for interactive classes like ours, for example. You won't be as familiar with classmates as you were in high school. Becoming more independent and having more responsibilities, that's two sides of the coin. Great point. A greater responsibility towards understanding information correctly, yes, and especially the classes are not taught to the average level of student knowledge. They're taught at a very high level. So you have to really, prepare in advance to be able to comprehend and discuss and perform using the skills you learned. Living by yourself, exactly. Responsibility, classes harder, and you have to work harder for sure. Amount of freedom, that's something that has to be managed. College will be more entertaining and useful compared to high school. I'll finally be able to study my interests and socialize with more people. That's really, a great opportunity for college, because you will perhaps meet instructors, teaching on music, for example, that is not at all interested in your field of study, but you're very, passionate about it, and then you can learn about it. There will be club activities, and you will try sports and arts that you have not even known about before. So that's a great opportunity. Students in high school are much more controlled by their teachers. In college, it's more students. So yes, you all got the responsibility point. Better time management skills, for sure. In the advanced parts of our workshop, we will talk about the skills needed in college and what you can do already to prepare for it. And look after our mental health seriously. It doesn't have to be years of hard studying, for sure. Yes, a fulfilling university life is balanced in terms of how social you are, how hard you work, and how much fun you have. So definitely caring about your mental well-being is very important. Oftentimes, international students that I have taught for the past 4 years are very high achieving. So they do, care a lot about their academics, they overload their programs, etc. But sometimes, they don't care much about their well-being as much as they actually should, so that they can succeed, by the way. And that's also a prerequisite. So good point that you already had that in mind. New culture, new life. So it's going to be a cultural adjustment for you as well, unless you're already familiar with Turkish culture. Let's see what's being told differently than we discussed. Dedicated to a single program, meaning the same subject, maybe. So because Koç University follows a liberal arts philosophy of education, even though you're going to study medicine, you will learn about social sciences, aesthetics, ethics, etc. So our program is, you might have heard of the core program. That's just the 360. You're being shaped as a human being, rather than a medical student or an engineering student. It's the 360 vision of the world, a formation of your intellectual knowledge. So even though you do study one thing or two things, you get to learn a lot about different subjects that makes you both a global citizen and an intellectually aware person. Socially active at a higher degree, for sure. A new diverse group of people get to be more independent and express our individuality more freely, for sure. And grow as people as we gain more life experience. Very good point. I agree. University is a great time for you to grow as a person. Not only you study, but you also are shaped by people you meet, by activities you organize or you participate in. You really get formed as an individual, and it does define your identity for the rest of your life. Responsibility, getting challenged with different opinions and reflecting on them. Good point. This is true both academically and socially. There will be people who think very differently from you when it comes to, more taboo subjects in society, for example, and you will have to be able to respect all those opinions and then expect other people to respect yours as well. You get to reflect on different points of view. Reflection is a very good word here. You do get to reflect on how other people perceive the world, so that you get a better understanding, again, a 360 understanding of the world. You're more open to changes in college. You should be, because there will be a lot of changes. And oftentimes when you resist the change, you kind of delay your adjustment. So it's best to accept it and then see what you can do to overcome the challenges that it may cause. A stranger is a friend you haven't met yet. Very good point, and very good starting point for forming a social circle in college. So let's see what I can add to what you have already said. So oftentimes in high school, since you got to coach, you're probably a good student. Maybe you were the star of your class or of the school. Whereas when you come to the university, everybody's like you. So there are people who perform as well. There are people who have succeeded as much. And that's when you might feel like, am I doing enough? Am I going to be able to succeed just the way I was able to in high school, for example? That's how I felt when I went to pursue my master's. Everyone was just very high achieving, and if they got an A-, they would just be very upset. And I remember just being in tears when I got my first feedback on a minor assignment. It was my ethics course, and then I was, okay, yes, I can do it. I can do it as well as I did in high school. I managed well, etc. So that's one shift. And if you do get to practice your study skills that you were successful with in high school, that's already a good start. Let's say what hasn't been said. So you have a range of elective courses to choose from. That's a great thing. You do a lot of self-directed studying. That's what you already caught. The courses move very fast, and I think nobody mentioned the class sizes. The class sizes can be small or medium or large, but not all classes will be as small as the high school classroom. So that's why sometimes it's hard to interact with other people. So in high school, typically, your teachers are trained as teachers, whereas in university, your instructors are also scientists. They do research, they provide they write scholarly work, they publish their work, and oftentimes their research contributes to the society. So, they do teach, but at the same time, they have a whole researcher identity. Attendance, high school, in high school, typically it's mandatory, whereas in the university, depending on the instructor's method, it can be mandatory, it may not be mandatory, or the level you attend might have some impact on your grade. But you know, it depends on how much you care about that 1% or 2%, for example. So that's up to you to decide, you know, whether how the benefit and costs outweigh each other. So in high school, oftentimes you learn something and then you solve example problems, and then you just solve similar problems in the exam and you're done. Whereas in university, you have to apply your learning to new cases, new methods. You have to create something, you have to do critical thinking, you have to do problem solving, etc. So it's more of a higher intellectual skills that are assessed in exams. Let's see. So regarding the services offered, so Dr. Hanım mentioned a lot of these services that are available to you, but oftentimes, you know, there are exceptions like Dr. Hanım's program and our program in Earlist, but oftentimes the services are there and you have to seek them. Let's say you're having a hard time in physics, so you have to seek help to get tutoring from a more seasoned student regarding your physics exam. Or there's counseling service available, but you have to go knock on the door, make an appointment to be able to benefit from those psychological services. So again, you have to be resourceful and show the drive and motivation to seek those services so that you can benefit from them. University as an institution is different from high school in that you do, there's research done, there's education, there's service to society, as opposed to high school being, you know, mostly focused on education, both curricular and extracurricular. Regarding success criteria for graduation, you have, you know, if you pass your courses, you can graduate high school typically, but in university, you also have to maintain a grade point average to be able to graduate. So I think, you know, in different universities it's different, but a C, an average of C is required for you to graduate. Taking care of high household chores, budgeting, etc. And regarding your behavior, you know, how you're going to behave in class, outside the class, you're responsible. The professor won't shut you down. If you leave class, the professor won't run after you. You have to remain within the ethical boundaries set out in the student code of conduct, and you are responsible, and then there are consequences if you behave against the norms. Okay, let me pause here for a moment to send you yet another survey. This time, based on what you heard or what you've been thinking of before, what are the things that you are excited about and worried about college? Here you go. Please answer these two questions, and again, I will share what you wrote. So some students are started typing. What are you most excited about? And what do you think will you be most challenged about in college? This requires some more reflection than the previous one. So among the things that are mentioned, please keep writing and entering your answers. I'll just start commenting on them. So I understand that one of you is excited about meeting Turkish people, the university life and the quality of education. That's something you don't need to worry about regarding Koç for sure. Interacting with different people from all over the world, meeting new people, learning new things about certain subjects, living alone, managing my life on my own. and meeting new people. So for some, it's something to be excited. For some, it's something to be rather worried about right now. Pursuing my field and meeting people with interests similar and passions similar to mine. Starting medical school. I can't wait to push my boundaries. That's a good attitude. So being able to study what I love, that's great. Pursuing your passions, interests, extracurriculars, experiments in the laboratories, meeting new interesting people, people with diverse backgrounds, student clubs, change. Let me scroll down. Have a deeper insight into different outlooks of life and the rich history of Turkey. Meeting people with different and similar opinions. Meeting like-minded people and more important to achieve your aspirations. Insightful discussions and achieving further academic delicacy. Let's look at the challenges now. Math. Living alone, limiting the budget and managing time. High level of competition, midterms, chores, Turkish as a language, again, language barrier and social anxiety. So as a psychologist, I can say a lot of students who come in to college with social anxiety blossom, in different opportunities. They blossom in clubs, they blossom in classes. So that's of course, you can seek psychological assistance too, but oftentimes there are experiences that do open you up and make you flourish. Being placed in a completely new and unfamiliar territory, which will soon become your territory. It also depends on how much you engage with the university. If you do get your classes and then just leave and don't do anything at the university, then your engagement will be rather low. But if you do, stay active, be in common areas, library, food court, common areas in the dormitories, that's where, you will feel more of a sense of belonging to the university, and it will become more and more familiar as you form new experiences. Maintaining high grades and managing time to study properly, academic pressure, time management, the fact that I would be the only responsible of everything, socializing, adjusting, living up to the goals. Oftentimes, I also see students, changing goals. They come with interest in one area, and then they like to switch to another interest as they discover and take more classes or join more clubs. So goals, can be revised in time. Some goals that are very important to you now may not be as important, and vice versa. So that's some work in progress, really. Making the correct choice. That's true. The university requires you to make a lot of choices when it comes to your relationships, academic preferences, whether you're going to do an internship or not. There's, again, a lot of decisions to be made indeed. The stress, confront difficulties, getting used to live alone and without our parents. Great insights, great. So let's see what we can do about them already. Let me share with you some tips as to what you can do already to prepare yourself mentally for the college experience. So the skills that are often needed, this is a limited list. There are many more skills, but I just noted the ones that I deem most important now. Time management, self-discipline, goal setting, being resourceful, managing stress, as some of you have already noted, communication. So communicating with your professors, communicating with administrators, communicating with your peers, communicating with people in the clubs, your neighbors in the dorm, etc. So there's a lot of communication, written and verbal, going on indeed. Somebody's making some signs over the slide. Teamwork. Oftentimes you will have project groups in classes where you will have to work together with people of your choice or not. So that's an important skill. Adaptation to change, critical thinking, resilience. So some people said mental health, some people said stress. So it's really something you're building. There are challenges and you build skills to get up and get going. Cultural sensitivity, again, it's another important skill because you're basically in a global environment. So regarding preparing for the university, let's talk about the mindset. So oftentimes I see students are so worried about success that they miss the journey. So they're like, did I get an A or not? Am I going to pass or not? Okay. However, you learn through the experiences. I remember being an exchange student at Boston University in my junior year of college. And I remember failing on something and the professor said, see it as a learning experience. Like, the grade matters. What are you talking about? But yes, now I understand that you learn from your mistakes. Failure is okay. Failure is actually an opportunity for you to grow better. So I would suggest that, of course, work towards your success if that's one of your goals, but also see it as a learning experience where you grow as a person and as a student. Another big sort of trap that some of my freshman students fall in is that they want to do everything in the freshman year. They join 10 clubs, they overload their schedule, they want to go to all the parties, etc. And then they find themselves overwhelmed and very tired. So it's really important to prioritize what matters to you first. Probably be easy on yourself as you have a lot of adjustment to be made. There will be many more semesters where you will join that club or take that class as well. Keeping an open mind for diverse points of view, culturally, personally, that's very important. Being mindful of your prejudices. So your prejudices against Turkish people, your prejudices against university education, your prejudices against campus life, your prejudices against Koç community, etc. So it's always important to, we do have them, but always put a question mark and see if they're true, see if they're correct in time. It's important that you believe that you can succeed, because some students I see, they come with so much anxiety and they feel like they won't measure up, but you were admitted for a reason among all the other students who applied. So the university does believe that you will succeed. You just have to test your potential and then be resourceful when you face challenges. Regarding the first month of the university, oftentimes students have a hard time balancing the fun and the responsibilities. There will be welcome parties, events, it's the honeymoon, but then soon after, in a month or so, come the midterms. So one of the students I'm teaching this semester, he advised that, don't lose yourself in social life during the first month. Start studying bit by bit, even if the midterms seem to be too long afar. How to prepare for university research. So here are some ideas as to what you can already start researching. So I would suggest that you do research the curriculum, the core courses, the professors in your department, what are they doing? What kind of research they're into, even if it's too hard for you to understand the basics of it yet, have an idea. Look for double major, minor, and track opportunities in the Koç University website. About 1/4 of students pursue a double major, as far as I know. I don't know if it's accurate now, but it was for a long time. A lot of students pursue minor and track programs. So track programs are basically certificate programs, like they're usually interdisciplinary. So let's say gender studies, etc. So you do get an additional certificate for that. So I would suggest that you learn more about them, to find out more about them when you come to campus, sort of you have a vision as to what you want to accomplish when you come. I would suggest that you browse through the student club's social media accounts, because, again, you want to pursue a lot of your passions here, extracurricularly too. So they're very active, especially now that the university is in remote learning. So I would definitely follow them, see what they're doing, and perhaps start contemplating how you can contribute to those clubs when you join. The services, it's important to know that they're there. So you will please attend orientation. That's very important. But sometimes the information shared in the orientation can dissipate in time. So I would suggest that you do look through the Dean of Students website that Gökçen Hanım shared to see what's there in case you need it. Maybe you don't feel like you need a career advice now, but you know, it's important to know that it's there, or counseling, or you need help with a class. Talk to current students. I know you'll have a chance to do that today. That's also very important as to you know, hearing a less official and more insider information from students. Seek opportunities related to your passions. What elective classes are there that you can pursue? And learn about the country's culture, news, and current issues. Again, you're going to go through cultural adjustment in addition to adjustment to college. So I would suggest, you know, you find out what's going on in Turkey, where a lot is going on. It's good to be aware of, you know, what's happening, so that you have a common conversation topic when you sit in a friend's circle. Regarding the skills needed for college, I listed some of them here and then noted some things that you can already do. So you already mentioned that time management is an issue. Yes, get a calendar. Or familiarize yourself with the time management apps, you know, the systems that are affiliated with your email address, you know, or get a notebook if you like stationery, because there will be a lot of time management to be made. To-do lists and sticky notes won't do. You will need to have a calendar. Mark down the midterm dates, assignment submission deadlines, etc., or club activities or welcome parties. It's important to be able to set a goal already and have a vision as to how you want to live the university life. You want to balance well-being and success, for example. You want to be active in at least one club. You want to be able to explore Istanbul, hopefully, when everything opens up. So sort of have a vision and do prioritize for the first year. As I said, don't try to do over what you can do. Otherwise, you know, it's usually disappointment at the end. Managing your stress, there will be a lot of well-being opportunities on campus. There's ice skating rink, there are pools, there is, you know, you can walk in nature. There are, you know, artistic activities that you can engage in, dance, music. So do have a plan, you know, that will help you balance the rigor of academics. And it's important to be resourcefulness, you know, reach out to people, ask questions for sure. So I would suggest, you know, after you do all this research, make a list of questions that you can ask upon arrival, either to a peer or a mentor that will be assigned to you by Gökçen Hanım, or the offices, or to faculty members. Some final remarks on my part. So reflect on the following issues, I would suggest. How can you contribute to the university? So oftentimes we look into, when we, you know, we're in the admission process, we look into what we're going to get from the university. But I think it's a good time to reflect on what you're going to give to the university. You can, how you can contribute, what skill can you bring, what student club can you start, what kind of a curricular change can you suggest? Maybe you will be in the student council. You know, think of ways as to how you can leave your mark in Koç University, aside from being the 1,300 plus students who will be admitted this year. And think of how can you share yourself and your culture, your life experiences, your skills, your talents, etc. And also, it's good to think about how you're going to survive, you know, work life-wise. You know, do you know how to cook, laundry, how you're going to manage your money, maybe have a vision about your budget, and how you're going to spend it during the university life, etc., whether for books or for leisure activities. And yes, as I said, do attend the orientation. And one note about cultural adjustment. So I know that a lot of some students who live in very nearby countries, every single break, or sometimes even over the weekend, they just go to their country and come back. That kind of delays adjusting to the new culture. So I would suggest, unless it's a very long break, and even for long breaks, you know, it's best to stay, you know, in Istanbul, maybe on campus, to be there, not just as a student, not just when you have to be as a student, but you know, as an explorer of this new city and new campus. Okay, so while we finish, I would like you to write a letter to your first day of school in university. After everything you heard, what would you like to say to yourself on that day? When you're first on campus, it's your first day of classes. Okay, so here is a website, futureme.org. So go on that website. And there you can write yourself a letter that will fall into your mailbox on the date of your choice. So you can put it, I think it's Gökçehan said September 13th. So you can put September 13th or some date around that. And, you know, based on what you heard today, give yourself some advice about how to take in this new challenge in your first year. futureme.org. In the meantime, if you have any questions for me, you can start typing it in the chat room and I can answer if I can.
Pinar, should they, I mean, they can send it privately, right, to themselves?
This letter is just to themselves. So they just type their email address and then, you know, on that day, you will remember today, oh yes, there was this workshop and I wrote myself a letter, and then you can receive it. But if you have any questions to me now to ask here, you can type it in the chat room.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Pinar. You know, like I do wish I had this before I started university. And as you said, I think pretty much all of our international students are very high achievers. That's why they have been offered admission. So what you mentioned about the anxiety of maybe now not being the star, but one of many, many stars, can be overwhelming at first and kind of makes you lose a bit of your confidence. So it's important to know that, you know, everyone is kind of feeling the same way, especially those first few months. Also, thank you so much for having that reflection about what can our new international students contribute to our university. I know that, for example, half of the students that we invited to join our panels to talk to the new students, the reason I wrote to them, it's because I consider they have already made a very positive mark in our university. In some cases, like Nazir, and I think Nazir is here, you know, him and a group of his friends, they created a whole new student club. Whenever there's been any difficulties in terms of the processes, and maybe some forms were not in English, they have come out and said it, and because of them, we have changed and improved processes. So you know, for example, like there's so many examples I can give for each of the students who are here with us. So that's exactly the type of, that's our expectation of them, you know, that they are not just here because they're brilliant academically, but also because, you know, we think they want to be agents of change. And that's extremely important, not only when you join university, but any organization. I think there's a question for you. About the ballet course. So
yeah, I'm glad you're interested. So yes, we have a beginner course, we have a pre-intermediate course, an intermediate course, and it goes on and on. But yes, the most popular is the beginner course, and so you don't have to be any experience with any type of physical or artistic activity in the past. So you can really be there without knowing anything about it. And I look forward to having you.
There is an Instagram account for the
Yes,
course.
let me share it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Type it
It's
on-
Koç University Ballet in English.
And it's amazing the way of seeing our campus, because it's partly taken some very, very nice photographs of our campus with the students doing ballet kind of figures and poses. So that's,
Yeah, we had a ballet photography project where an instructor at our university took students' photos doing ballet poses around the campus. So yes, it's nice corners of campus featured. Well, thank you for this opportunity, Melissa. Unless anybody has any questions, I'll start saying goodbye. I wish you best of luck for your university life and beyond. I hope it's going to be a very fulfilling experience, and I do have faith that you will overcome the challenges that will be part of the journey. And I look forward to meeting you in person on campus next academic year.
we all do indeed. So thank you so much, Pinar, for this really, really valuable workshop. And I think everyone is still absorbing all the info. So it's good that we're recording it so that they can also watch it again and remember this on the months before they arrive on campus and start here as students. I think there's a lot of thank you coming up for you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Best wishes.
Thank you, Pinar. So we're running a bit late in the program, but I'm sure that's okay. We now have all of our current students here who are going to be answering your questions in the breakout room. So first I'm going to share my screen very briefly to explain how this is going to work. Let me just open my slides. Okay, so we have different breakout rooms that I will open in very briefly, and you can choose the room that you want to join based on the program that you have been offered admission to. You may have been offered admission to more than one program in different colleges, and you can switch between rooms at any point as you wish, okay? So I want to introduce briefly who are going to be our student hosts. First of all is Javidan Osmanlı, who is from Azerbaijan. He's one of our medicine students, and I think he's now in his sophomore year. If I'm wrong, please correct me, Javidan. And also we have Najwa Ahmad Doha, who is one of our nursing students from Lebanon. So my colleague Efe Jarlik is going to be moderating that room, okay? After you're in the room, based on the number of people that will be there, you can decide if you want to ask your questions by typing them on the chat, or if you want to ask your question via, with your microphone verbally, okay? Then we have, for our College of Engineering, we have Nasir Nayal from Syria, who is a computer engineering senior. He's actually, not, I don't think oldest, but our most experienced student in the group. And he's going to be joined by our colleague Ahmed Ismail to answer your questions, not just about computer engineering, which is his major, but more about the college in general. Then we have Raul Abdullayev from Azerbaijan, who is a student in molecular biology and genetics. And if I'm not wrong, I think you're doing a double major, maybe wrong. So he's going to talk about, of course, his major and the College of Science. And our colleague from the Registrar's Office, Çağrı Yaşaroğlu, is going to be there to help moderate the questions, okay? Then for the College of Social Sciences and Humanities, we have Maya Velasquez, who is studying psychology. Maya is very special because she's our first undergraduate student from Paraguay. You can also ask her questions about her country if you're interested in that. And she's also here as a Turkish scholarship student, which is very important for us. This is a new kind of program for us in the last couple of years. And if you want to ask questions about psychology or about the college in general, she's also a freshman and she started in spring. So if you want to know what it feels like to be, a student in the first semester, she can also, I think, answer questions about that. And finally, we have Elena Pekmerli from Greece, who is in business administration. So in our College of Administrative Sciences and Economics, okay? I'm going to be moderating that session. And what we're going to do is, for those of you who were accepted to that college, either in business administration, economics, or international relations, what I'll ask you is to stay here where we are in the main session, okay? Everyone else, if you're, medicine, engineering, basic sciences and social sciences, you will go to the other rooms. We have scheduled the question and answer with our students to go until 6 o'clock. If a specific room is going to be going on until a bit later, that's okay. We don't need to finish the event like right on time. The important thing is that you get your questions answered. But at 6, we will be back here in the main session answering the remaining questions about maybe ThenClick or registration or other topics, okay? So I hope that is clear. Let me stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to open the breakout rooms. Okay, so you have been invited now to join breakout rooms. You can see on the room names, the college name, and you can basically assign yourself. You can click to join, okay? So as I said, those of you who have been accepted to our College of Administrative Sciences and Economics, you just stay here where you are. You don't need to go anywhere. Those of you who want to then go to other rooms, please do so now, okay? And we will have about a bit, like an hour, just a bit less than an hour for you to ask all of our questions to our students. And hello to Elena, Javidan. I see you guys. So you guys can also join the breakout rooms now, okay? Thank you so much for joining us today. I know, Javidan, you were in the middle of a neuroscience seminar, so I hope we didn't take you away too much from that. You should be able to see the breakout rooms in the bottom of your screen where you can see, for example, mute, stop video. I'm sorry, like that. Let's see. Okay, let me try again. Because I see some of you are joining, some of you are not. Let's see. I think this should work, but okay, so I do apologize. It may be a technical, okay. It may be a technical issue when we will set up the breakout rooms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to type in the chat which room you want to be in, and I'll assign you. It should have been done, like you should be able to choose yourself, but it seems as not. So please give us 5 minutes to go through this and then assign you there, okay? So I'll start now. Okay. Okay. Quite a lot of medicine here, so I'm assigning those, and I will assign. Okay. Thank you for your patience as we do this. Should have been done automatically, but yeah. Social science, okay. Let's see. Engineering. Neil. Eileen, let's assign you now. Now it's turn of Susan. Okay. Torul. It's Ahmed. Pares. Then, okay. Into medicine. Kamala. Okay. Oh, okay, Dana, I think, has now joined the other room. Okay, so I think now in the main session, we have John, Doa, Elena, who is our current student, Jehun, Melis, Shakil. Okay, if any of you who are now in the main session want to join the other college sessions, please type it on the chat and I'll assign you, okay? Okay, so Dana, okay, so Dana is in engineering and she should be in medicine, okay. Let me check. Okay. And I will unmute you. Yes, Elena, sorry. I need to do that from here. Okay, perfect. So I made you co-host now, Elena, and I think you should be able to unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coastal University. Congratulations on your offers. So my name is Elena. I am a student freshman at the spring semester, and I'm very willing to answer any questions you may have regarding my KU experience up to now, which has been very gratifying, and of course any major or college insights that you may like to request.
Okay. So we have, let's see, let me just check that we haven't missed anyone who should be somewhere else. So we have Jan, and let me just mark here that you can unmute yourself so that you can all ask your questions. Okay, so now you should be able to unmute yourself to ask your question.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
First of all, I'd like to ask a question about the dormitories. Will the Koç University assign international students to dormitories this year, or are they planning to assign housing? Because since there are a lot of more applies this year compared to last year.
Okay, I guess that's more a question for me than for
sorry, apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. So every year the system, it's kind of the same. So when you are sent your Koç University ID, ID number and password and email and everything, you're able to enter the coach information, student information system, where you fill out two things, the matriculation form and the dormitory reservation form. So you reserve a room, and you prioritize which type of room and the location of the room that you want. So for example, main campus or West Campus, if you want triple room, or a quadruple room or a single room. And then our dormitory management, they start to basically place students according to availability. But yeah, it's that system hasn't changed. If you're not, for example, if you want, let's say, a triple room on West Campus, and by the time you fill out the reservation form, all of those rooms have been already assigned, and the students that they have been assigned to have paid the dormitory fee deposit, then yes, they will tell you, okay, we were not able to place you in your first choice, which was a triple room in the West Campus, but we have found you, for example, a triple room in the main campus or a quadruple room in West Campus, and so on, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay. So we have Jehun, Melis, and Rafai. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions for Elena? Yes. Let's start with Jehun.
Hi everyone. Just with regards to the dormitories. Well, with regards to the application, I know that it's not confirmed that basically the students need to basically come physically into the university, and I just want to understand whether are we able to apply for the dormitories while it's not confirmed the next semester is going to be online or it will be physical in the university.
Okay, no.
Thank you.
Until we know if it's going to be remote or on campus, there's no way of reserving anything, basically.
Right. Okay. So basically, we need. Sorry. Go on. Yeah.
Oh no. You go.
Right. Okay. Thanks, mate. Yeah, just want to understand. So basically, we need to wait until until it's confirmed whether the student needs to come physically to university or it will be online, and after that, we'll be able to book the dormitories, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, understand.
However,
Yeah,
I mean, one thing I do have to say, our dormitory management, they try, like it's not a exact algorithm or a precise algorithm, but they try to always, for freshman students, to make sure that they will have a place. So what you shouldn't worry about is not having a place. You will have a place. It may not be your first choice, the number of beds in the room, or whether it's West Campus or main campus, but as a freshman student, you are guaranteed a place. That's important to know. Elena, can you share with us?
Understand, yeah.
Yeah, Elena, I think would be interesting.
Understand, yeah, that's...
Huh?
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say that's what I was worrying about. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. I know, Elena, that you went through all of that kind of uncertainty last year, because we didn't know even in sort of July if our fall 2020 semester was going to be taught online or on campus. I mean, at that time we were preparing for a hybrid type of delivery of classes, but then of course, like that was not possible. Maybe you can share your experience of dealing with that, like what things took you longer to do, to understand, to process?
Yes, of course. Sure. When I was first trying to understand whether the semester is going to be hybrid or a fully remote or in person, my main challenge was where to stay. Like my classmates mentioned about the dormitories and stuff, I was quite concerned about missing the deadlines of the applications or how to basically apply for the room. But then when the president shared with us the news that the semester would be conducted fully online due to the YOG regulations, I stayed here. The calendar was moved kind of onwards because the university also tried to adapt swiftly and decisively to the new data from the ongoing ancient pandemic. So upon in the beginning of the semester, we faced many challenges with mainly administrative requirements, not so much academic requirements, because As Ms. Melissa's colleague said, the faculty is very esteemed and they are always very open to collaborating with us, especially newcomer international students. They always assist with any requirements that we may have. They are very open to discussion. They helped us settle during those conditions, which were quite hard for us. Main challenges, apart from this, include the transition to the online environment. We need to spend a lot of hours in front of the computer. Maybe sometimes you get some irritations, you get some distractions. Maybe you're not alone in the room. But in general, Coach University, in my case, achieved a very smooth transition to the online environment. I was very satisfied from that. And the best thing so far was a landmark decision that Mr. Umran made. This is about the guest participation in courses. He allowed, per the recently communicated guidance to students, to attend any courses that they want, even if they were not officially enrolled. And this, in my opinion, grants a very enriching and all-inclusive, vibrant experience in Coach University. Apart from all the other courses that you would be enrolled, you can attend any course that you like, or provided that there is physical capacity, you can attend the class when we get on campus. Courses are quite hard in terms of time management. You should be very diligent in this case. You should be handling tasks with due care. You should be very organized. Keep a calendar updated regularly. Deadlines will be coming. The university has a mainstream shared calendar with you. You can find all the midterm and final dates on the registered office calendar. You can also look how to combine your careers with any other major or minor area. The university offers this chance to specialize in an area of your major or pursue a multidisciplinary career by choosing the double major path. Besides that, we have many extracurricular clubs. The international community helps with issues like the language barrier. Although I speak Turkish, since I was little, I didn't have this kind of issue, but my classmates had it. So they contacted the international community. There are many WhatsApp groups that you can take advantage of. International students are very helpful towards newcomers. I can also admit you, if you like, to the international community WhatsApp group. The university also is a private research university. Vast, diverse research agenda portfolio, solid foundations for your discipline, and the university ensures that you have taken all the advantages of the lifelong learning procedures. So please take advantage of all those opportunities, because the university is really brilliant in this case, and you will be also custodians of any humanitarian values.
Can I ask a question? I think Jan has a question.
Sure.
Yeah, hi. Elena, just to start, you're doing business administration, right? You're studying that.
Exactly, yes, I'm doing business.
Yeah, I have a question. Did you have any prior knowledge before you started university about business administration?
Yes, Jan. In fact, I graduated from the International Baccalaureate Diploma program here in my hometown, Thessaloniki. I attended this college. I was taking business higher level course, and I was acquainted with all of the foundations of business prior to attending college. I also took some higher level language courses. I took mathematics, and I took an interdisciplinary course. Basically, you can look at as an intersection of engineering with science and biology and biochemical sciences, which is more of like the core program of Coach University, so that you can get the grasp of everything and you can articulate problem-solving skills into every discipline.
And were your classes difficult? Oh, sorry. Were your classes difficult?
Not all of my classes were difficult. The most challenging ones, in my opinion, were the mathematics classes, because professors need to cover a lot of material and they move on pretty quickly. Students complain about this. Maybe they should be solving more exercises in class, or maybe organizing more problem sessions so that they can help you grasp the concepts. But there were some classes like the Turkish class, like what else did I take? I took political science. There is a requirement for business administration students to take one of the SOCI course. Instead of taking any sociology course, I loved politics, so I took the Introduction to Political Science. It was the best course so far I had taken. I really advise you to take this instead of any other SOCI course. I took an INDR course, an Industrial Engineering Introductory course, because I would be pursuing double major in this area. And this semester I'm taking my calculus course, my economics course, the microeconomics, which is very nice and very well done by Alper Wey. He's a really nice professor and very kind. So if you find his name on the schedule, please take the course from him. You will not lose a chance to be admitted into a very friendly community. Then I'm taking accounting, which is from the sophomore year, but I decided to combine this with economics because I had some prior knowledge. And I thought that it would be a sufficiently comprehensive business-oriented schedule. Then I am taking my MEC course as a guest. This is a very enriching experience because we have many overlaps with business.
That's in mechanical.
Yes, the mechanical engineering course, we have many overlaps with business. We have innovation, we have how to devise a strategy based on 6 courses that underpin the business realm, which is strategy, ethics, innovation, culture. My classmates will come across those concepts in every case in their business education. And what else do I have? And some core courses like humanities and ACU, aesthetic interpretation and understanding, which just complement the foundations of business.
So your recommendation to Jan would be perhaps to, like strengthen a bit maths before starting.
I really advise you, yeah.
Okay.
What kind of maths, to be exactly precise?
We have finite mathematics, Math 101, which is a prerequisite course, and we complete it during the first year. In this course, you will come across some matrix algebra. I don't know if you have covered some things in high school. You will come across logarithmic functions, exponential functions, some finance mathematics, which you will be using both in accounting and economics, like how to calculate the compound interest. And finally, you will be having some foundations on the simplex method, which is part of the linear programming procedures in math. And this semester, about the calculus course, I really advise you to work on functions. You will be covering every bits and bits of functions. You will be covering derivation, you will be covering integration, you will be covering some techniques to find out limits, to sketch graphs. Some extensive applications include optimization problems, maybe antiderivatives, rectilinear motion. So you will come across all this.
All right, thank you.
I think Jaehoon has a question.
Hi, yes. Because I guess the question is to yourself. I know that it's not known, the information is not available when whether the education will start, whether online or physical presence of student will be required on the 13th of September. So I just wondered, is it still unknown or unconfirmed? And if this is still the case, any thoughts when this information will be available? Thank you.
Yeah, it is an unknown for us, but we're hoping that by early summer, what I mean early summer is something like end of June, not only us, but all Turkish universities will know from the Turkish Higher Education Council if the fall semester can be done online or face-to-face or a mixture, like a hybrid kind of model. So that's our kind of planning time scale. So we're waiting until kind of end of June, also because it's when all universities, the Turkish Higher Education publishes the quotas for the national Turkish university entrance exam for each university, for each program. And I think everyone is going to be waiting for, an answer then.
Okay, yeah, it was just a good expansion of this question. So when you said a mixture of the online and physical presence, what does this mean? Can you just give a bit explanation? Thank you.
Yeah, so what that refers to is, I mean, we were already preparing for that for last fall, but then it became, obvious that we couldn't do it, is if students are already in Turkey and specifically in Istanbul, they would be able to come to campus and there would be face-to-face classes with social distancing on specific areas of the campus and classrooms, and take the courses with the instructors in that way. Those who are not on campus in Istanbul, maybe they might be in another city in Turkey or outside of Turkey, then they would be able to still follow the same course exactly, but online. So all the what's happening now. So all the courses are recorded, and you have some courses where the lessons are given synchronously, like at the same, live, you have to be there at that time, or that the professors have recorded and you can watch it later and then send questions and do other things later, okay? I have to check because my colleague, Sarah, is here, okay? Sorry, I see you were calling, but I guess you assign yourself back to the room, right?
Yeah, the thing is, what I'm meaning to ask you just quickly, our participants can freely enter and exit our
yeah, but I realized, I think you were with Kamala. She wants to move to where? I can move her from here.
Okay, so should we do this manually or?
Yes, manually. If you tell me where she wants to go, I can move her, basically.
Okay, but they can't just enter.
I thought they could. I thought I set it up that way. I apologize, but yeah.
No, okay. Thank you. I'll just returning back to.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that. Let's continue with our questions here. Okay. So do we have any other questions for Elena? You can unmute yourselves to ask the question if you wish. So I see here we have Bekpolato, Jan, who's here. Jan, there's two Jans now. Erai, Eren, I guess the engineering session is coming back now to the main session.
Yes.
Okay. So
I have a question.
yes.
Yeah, sorry, Ken.
Yeah, we go
At
ahead.
the extracurricular activities, how do you attend if they're going to be online?
It's a very good question. Elena, can you share? Have you participated in any extracurricular?
In any online activities? Yes, of course. When you open your KU email, you will be receiving some invitations from the various clubs of the colleges, and you can just click on the Zoom link of the club and attend. The guys are trying to organize all sessions both in English and in Turkish, just to help international students who are not very much acquainted with the Turkish language, but just participate equally. I have taken part in some of the club activities like this, and it's very smooth. Plus, I really love the faculty seminars from the UNIV seminar area. I attend all of those because they mainly come from the engineering college, and I really like them. But yes, it's quite easy for the online environment. You will be receiving emails every day.
So far the activities you have attended from the clubs are, for example, seminars?
Yeah, we are mostly seminars, like from the International Relations Department, from the chess club. I attended one session. I was very interested. I'm hoping that more clubs will be coming up and up with music, because I really like to learn an instrument. Then I took a rocket science seminar. I finished it with a certificate, and I'm now planning to take some from the blockchain technology area and the Cell company. You would be examining Cell company both in business and economics, and the school has some very interesting career seminars based on Cell and innovation.
Great. So yeah, I mean, I guess, for example, we do have student clubs on campus like dance club, mountain climbing, like the sports ones, more physically based activities, which I think they haven't been able to do many activities or any activities at all
Yeah,
so
too many compromises were made.
But I think the dance club was organizing some type of online dance classes so that you can.
Yes, I have a classmate who attends the session from the remote environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, upon return to campus, we will surely be using your swimming pool, your tennis court facilities. I really look forward to those.
I think Mahbub has raised his hand. You can unmute yourself if you wish to ask your question.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Mahbub. I'm Pakistani and living in Qatar. I have met Mr. Ahmed in Qatar, and my son got the admission in medicine school actually. So the question is that I have checked the Pakistani website for the Pakistan Medical Commission. The Qatar this Coach Medicine School is not registered in Pakistan at this moment. So I want to know what exactly is the status, the degree from Coach Medical School is accepted in Pakistan or not, or what is the process really here?
Okay, for that question, I would kindly ask you, I'm just going to write down your name. What's the name of your son, sorry?
Ans Mahbub.
Okay.
ANNS.
Okay. Because I don't have a, direct answer to that. What I know is Koch University is recognized as a university in Pakistan. In fact, we have an agreement with the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. And we receive a lot of Pakistani students who are graduate programs across the university in sciences, engineering, social sciences. If we need to officially sort of request recognition for our School of Medicine and our MD degree, I would need to check. Usually we are not doing that in the sense that, like the whole university is, let's say, recognized as a university in that country, not specifically the School of Medicine. So for that, I do need to do a bit of research and come back to you via email, if that's okay. In terms of
yeah,
an equivalency of the diploma as a doctor in Pakistan, again, like we need more details. I think if your son joins, he actually would be our first Pakistani citizenship medicine student at Koch, actually, because we have a lot of Pakistani students, but mostly in engineering and in basic sciences. So it will be a new process for us. And of course, if we do need to do some formal, recognition for specifically the medicine diploma, of course, we will do that, so.
Thank you very much, because I have seen it already that in Higher Education Commission, yes, Koch University is there and it is recognized. But for medicine degree, Pakistan Medical Commission is the recognizing body.
I think it might be because we never had a request to be recognized before, as we didn't have Pakistani medicine students in our program yet. So I think that's the reason. But so as I said, if it seems that it will be needed that we become recognized, so that's something that we can start. So, and I'm sure because we already have HEC kind of recognition, that it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah.
Yes, please. So I will wait for your email.
Congratulations to your son, because yes, being admitted to our medicine program it's really difficult. So he must be a very talented and outstanding student.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahbub. Jayhun has a question.
Hi, Melissa. Yeah, just one more question with regards to the scholarship. So if student got the scholarship granted from Koch University, in which cases that scholarship can be removed? What are the rules actually? What are the practices? That's the first question. And yeah, and now later I'll ask the second question as well.
Okay, thanks. Great. So as an international student with a tuition scholarship, either full or partial, you basically are subject to the same rules as Turkish students who have a scholarship from the Central University Placement Exam. The main requirement is that there's a GPA requirement, that it shouldn't be lower than 2. That's what I've understood. But again, if you look at that website that I mentioned called studentguide.ku.edu.tr, you can find a detailed regulation for that. It's either that, or for example, if you are found to be in violation of the student code of conduct or some very serious kind of discipline, violation, let's say, then yes, they may revoke the scholarship and not only the scholarship, but the enrollment at the university. Hopefully that won't be the case. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I will put a question to Elena. Elena, do you think it's what would need to happen to go below 2 in your GPA? I know you have an excellent GPA, but like.
Yeah, one must really try to fail courses like this. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities based on grading. Professors try to separate the grading and offer students a lot of opportunities to improve their grades. But if someone needs to fall below 2, then he or she should not have any time management skills. They should be really disorganized. They should be really demotivated. They should abstain from work, from all the activities that pertain to the course requirements. But the professors always help you. If they find out that you have a specific difficulty in grasping a certain concept or in following and catching up with classes, they would also reach out to you to offer any help. But yeah, I don't think that anyone should fall below 2. There are a lot of opportunities and a lot of courses that can compensate for any losses or any inadequacies. There are a lot of opportunities to increase your GPA and keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Thanks. Very useful to have you on this call, actually, to hear it from the student itself. I guess the second question would be with regards to artificial intelligence to maybe Melissa. Do you have in university any laboratories or any courses which are basically give a chance to the student to get some practical knowledge of the artificial intelligence or anything?
You're asking about artificial intelligence, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So actually, yes. I'll type the address here on the chat. It's very simple. It's ai.ku.edu.tr. So in late 2019, Koç University established the Artificial Intelligence Research Center in collaboration with İşbank, which is one of the oldest, or I think the oldest banks in Turkey. And they, they have a fellowship program. This is after you graduate from your bachelor's degree. So if you want to do your master's or your PhD with, a focus on AI, they have specific fellowships for that. But they also work with undergraduate students in terms of research projects during the semester. So if that's an area that you want to start exploring, definitely, first have a look at the website. The other thing is you will see, for example, there will be electives that you may be able to take. Which program were you admitted to? Jayhun?
Not really, not sure really at the moment. It just because, well, I didn't introduce myself. I'm not a student. I'm parents of one of the students.
Okay,
yeah, so I'm not sure. Just the general questions for my better understanding.
Yeah. So as Elena was saying, especially during this period that everything has been done online, the university sort of wanted to give the students the opportunity to take courses from outside their major without having to be formally in like a double major, a minor, or a track or certificate program. So for example, Elena is taking mechanical engineering courses, which are not part of her formal business administration curriculum. So in the same way, your son or daughter can also take artificial intelligence related courses from outside of their college if they wish to do so. So they would need to check certain prerequisites, because if it's at a level where they cannot understand anything, then it wouldn't be very useful. But yeah.
Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, just one more thing with regards to my first question. You mentioned also the site where we can get all this information with regards to the scholarship parameters or the kind of rules or anything. Can you also share that this site into the chat box, please?
Yes, I think my colleague Ahmed has just done that, but I'll type it again, okay? I just pasted it on the chat. It's studentguide.ku.edu.tr. Elena, are there any other websites you think that new students, should check that helped you when you were first sort of in the registration and first weeks of classes?
Basically, I really advise newcomers to download the Coach University mobile app. It is very useful and very organized. I use this, but then they can also check their home country's websites for documents, just to be sure and double check that they have all the required documents. And then the Turkish government's webpage, for instance, for the equivalency certificate, it's very useful. Although it's not written in English, but it is written in English in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I found that. But yes, the Coast University app is highly advisable. It's really nice. It functions really well.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that we hadn't included in our information slide, but the app, yes, exactly.
Thanks, Elena. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, another question. Apologize, probably I'm taking your time, but
that's what we're here.
Really interested. Kamala also shared a question with regards to the exchange programs with the other universities. I'm interested in that question as well. Would you be able to answer that one as well, and also advise what are the requirements for the student to be able to be a part of that exchange program?
Yes, of course. So all of our exchange programs are managed by our Office of International Programs. And my colleague Ahmed just put on the chat also their website address. I'm going to share my screen to show you the website. So the list of partner universities, it really is impressive. In terms of the requirements, so we established cooperation or let me just show you here. Okay. Each university may have different requirements in terms of the GPA that they want our students to have on a scale of 4 and the level of English proficiency that they should demonstrate. So for example, usually they require at least 80 on a TOEFL, or for example, the equivalent in our Koç University proficiency English test. There is an application, like a nomination process in which we as the we nominate our students to go to, for example, Northwestern University. They check, and there's an online application system for that. They check the students' GPA, English, which of their programs they want to take courses in that semester, if they have the quota available, and then they either accept or reject them, okay? But students, again, are asked to put a list of priorities for their exchange, like which universities they want to go to. I will now send the question back to Elena. Elena, have you started planning any exchange activity yet or no?
Not yet, but maybe I would like to finish the entire undergraduate course of studies at Koç and then pursue an inter-campus mobility mainly for the postgraduate part.
Okay.
As I'm young, I'd really like to stay in Koç University because I chose it, and I'm not very fond of inter-campus mobility because, again, you need to adapt to another place, you need to get used to all the happenings there, you need to go away from your home campus, your friends, because we will be meeting friends upon return. Other curriculums, maybe. I'm not very fond of exchange programs at this stage. But for the postgraduate level, yes, it would be very useful.
Great. Yeah. And the other thing to mention is Turkey is a member of the Erasmus mobility program. In that sense, we're part of the European Union. So our students can receive grants to cover part of their expenses when they are at one of the at a European university where we have an agreement with. And now there is this also this Erasmus Plus Worldwide, which again provides grants to our students to do exchange semesters at universities that are not in Europe. They could be in South America and Asia, Australia, Africa, wherever they want to go, okay? What we call global exchange is basically everything that it's not Erasmus or like European Union. And for that, that's, let's say they don't have to pay any tuition for any of this because it's on a reciprocal basis. So when their students come to our university, they don't have to pay tuition either. But then the living expenses like flying there, living there, eating there, etc. For global exchange, that is covered by the students themselves. We do have some scholarships, again, based on GPA, in which we can then cover part of the expenses if they're amongst the top students in their major, okay?
Right, okay, yeah, understood. And one more, one more question. During this pandemic, so we don't obviously know how long it may take, another year or 2 years or anything. Is there any kind of consideration of the online kind of exchange, you can call it, during this time?
Yes, actually, that we have been offering kind of virtual exchange. I think it's even here in the homepage of the Office of International Programs. Let me show you. Should be here. I remember seeing it here. Yes, so I mean, with some universities that are also teaching fully online, we have offered that opportunity to students. To be honest, not many students have wanted to take the opportunity. Some have done. So for example, I think Ahmed, that you're here, you know that one of our Algorair scholars, he's doing, online, like virtual exchange with Northwestern. That's one case that comes to mind because he really wanted the opportunity. But most students do prefer to have the, in-country experience. And I can understand partly why. But yeah, it is possible.
Okay, thank you. I guess I need to visit your university webpage, just to get more information on this. Thanks a lot.
We can also schedule a call with you and Camila later on if you have any other specific questions. So that's no problem. Okay.
Thanks for that, Melissa. Yeah, that would be great. So I will collect all the questions. Just think in group kind of question at home, and we will collect all the questions and we'll get back to you on this. Sure. Thank you a lot.
That's a great. Thanks. So it's now 6:03, and I'm wondering if in the other rooms, they have.
As medicine, we are here.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna close. Let me see if there are any other. I think, okay, I'll just close them. So everyone, in a minute, they should all be back here. I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. Okay, all right. So I think by now everyone should be starting to get here. Okay. I think we should go through the final questions that we have received after we, we went to the breakout room. Some of them have been answered in the chat by our colleagues, but I think it's important to maybe mention them as well. Again, thank you so much to our students, Elena, Javidan, Raul, Maya. I know that you're just, I think some of you are in the middle of exams, some of you just finished. So I know it, we really cannot thank you enough for taking the time today to talk to our newly admitted students. And my wish is that you will meet in person on campus this fall, hopefully. And we can maybe even become friends. So if you wish to leave now, you can do as current students, you can. Those of you who want to stay to ask further questions, then please stay and we'll go through the questions now, okay?
So, Mrs. Melissa, yes. May I say something?
Yes,
I need to rush to another meeting, so let me just wish best of luck to my classmates during their studies, and I am very happy to meet them in person as well. If they have any questions, I can type my email on the chat board, and they can feel free to contact me for anything.
Perfect. So I also see that Maya typed her email there, so thank you so much for offering that support to the new students. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly scroll through the questions to see.
Okay, I will say goodbye to everyone. I wish you an amazing experience and hopefully we will be on campus soon. We will meet you all.
Thank you very much, Maya. I know it's gonna be a long flight for you, but we really look forward to having you here.
Thank you so much, Miss Melissa.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice rest of the meeting.
Thank you. Okay, so there was a question about exchange programs. For example, which specific universities are in the exchange list and what is the eligibility for exchange programs? So I invite you to please check our Office of International Programs website, which is typed on the chat, is OIP, or Office of International Programs.ku.edu.tr. You will find that under mobility programs. They have the institutional partner list, and you can choose by country or by the college that you're in, and you can see which universities we have exchange agreements for your specific college or in the country you may be interested in doing exchange during your studies, okay? And you will see also the requirements. It has to do with GPA and your English, having an English proficiency exam. Then we had a question here, let me just check, about the English placement exam. Do we have to take it? And if so, when is it? Okay, so yes, if you applied without one of the eligible English proficiency tests, such as TOEFL, Pearson, English test, Cambridge, then yes, you need to either bring one of those or take the Koç University English placement test. But if you already had one of them in your application, then you don't need to, because it's already in your file that you have the sufficient level of English proficiency. Okay, and I think, so there's a question about dormitories. Will the dormitories be open next year? Again, it all depends. And as I said, hopefully by the end of June or early July, hopefully we should have news, not only Koç, but all universities about whether we can offer face-to-face teaching and open our campus on the fall or not. If that's the case, there will also be a decision as to whether the dormitories will be open. I was mentioning to some of our students who were in the College of Administrative Sciences session is what you shouldn't worry is about being left without a place, okay? The university puts a priority on making sure that all freshman students, including international freshman students, will be, if you want to stay in the dormitories, that you will be able to find a place. It may not be your first choice. For example, if you want to stay in a single room, for example, if you, let's say, if you fill out the form too late or pay the dormitory fee too late, then yes, you may not have your first choice of room, but you will be placed into your second choice, which could be, for example, a triple room in West Campus or main campus, etc. Okay. There is a question. So from Fatima, who I guess joined a bit later, is that when we receive an offer from Koç, is it conditional or unconditional? So your offer letter should state, if it's a conditional acceptance, it would clearly state what are the conditions that you need to meet. In most cases, it's about providing the final grades if you have applied with predicted grades, okay? Or a specific grade on SAT or another exam. If it doesn't mention any of that, then it means that it's an unconditional offer and you are eligible to accept your offer, pay the tuition deposit, and then complete the registration procedures and register as a student. There is a question here, can we share the recording of this session with other people? I would say in theory, yes, but it's a bit sensitive, so we would prefer that you don't. If it's your parents, for example, that's absolutely no problem. The reason is that, we have the participants' names kind of been showing on the screen, so, for data protection, it shouldn't be. If you want specific information to share with other people, we can send you specific documents that you may want to wish to share with others, okay? That's where Ahmed, who was asking this, okay. So Ahmed, get in touch with us if there's something specific in the recording that you want to share with others, and we can provide you maybe in other formats, okay? Here is a question. Okay, since as an IB student, I haven't had a chance yet to submit my results. Yes, we know that's the situation for all of you who are applying with IB results. As we said in the previous sessions, as soon as you have your results, please notify the university or registrar's team and upload your final result and certificate to your application so that they can change your offer from a conditional offer to a final offer. Or if you already have an unconditional, like full offer based on something else like SAT scores, you also need to let them know, okay? This is important for your high school completion certificate letter, the DENCLIC. Okay. There's a question about the DENCLIC. We can get the DENCLIC from any consulate, right? No. So you don't get the DENCLIC from the consulate. I know this is never easy to explain at first. So the DENCLIC is actually obtained from the Ministry of Education of Turkey. But because of the current pandemic situation in which students are not able to be in Turkey to go to the Ministry of Education, then the solution they have found for the students who enroll actually last fall and this spring is that they can give their high school diploma to their nearest Turkish consulate. The consulate sends those documents to, for example, Koç University, and then we as Koç University go to the Ministry of Education and apply on your behalf, okay? We don't know if that will still be the procedure for the fall 2021 students. We're waiting to hear on that, but please know that that may be what you need to do. There's a question, is IELTS or IB English credit count as eligible? No. Yes. Unless, okay, so your school would need to give you a letter stating that all of your education has been in English, but again, you would need to take our English proficiency exam, if you understand. Does Koç accept AP advanced placement credit? We do, so that it exempts you from taking specific courses. So for example, some of our physics and our maths courses can be waived if you can show that you had, for example, calculus. I can't remember the exact details. This is information that you can see on our registrar's website to see which courses you can have waived from your curriculum based on your AP courses, but it's mostly for physics and mathematics as far as I know. Another question here, when should we apply for dormitories? Normally, you can start to apply for dormitories once you get your Koç University ID number, password, and you're able to enter the system and complete your matriculation form. So that's usually, again, early summer. This year, we need to know if there will be the dormitories open or not. So once that's clear, then you can start to plan ahead, okay? Okay, so when would you recommend us to submit documents for equivalency? If your case is that you already have a high school diploma, then yes, please start the procedures now, basically, because it's taking quite some time. Every year it does take a bit of time. That's always the case, but if you already have your high school diploma, then you can start that process now, okay? Let's see if there are any other questions. It seems like there are no other questions. Okay, if there are no other questions, then here you can see on our screen different ways in which you can keep in touch with our team. So as I mentioned, our main email address is study@ku.edu.tr. If you want to, for example, book an online, a Zoom call with our team, perhaps if you want with one of your, your parents, you can do that again through our website. There is a very simple scheduling system there, okay? And of course, make sure you follow our Instagram account, KU International Admissions, because we put a lot of information there. And as our colleagues in the other units mentioned, especially the ICO, like International Community Office, Instagram account, please start following that, because in terms of important announcements, that you will see them there as well. You will receive everything by email, but just in case if you miss an email, there's another place that you can see it. Okay, I think there's now a question. Can my high school send my transcript directly to coaches, not an IB or A level? I think this question I would ask our colleague in registrar's office, Chara, to answer it. Chara, if you can answer that question, please.
I mean, basically they can send it to registrar's office, but you should have it
Electronically
at your hands too, because you're going to have to upload it online to our online registration page. So you should have it.
Okay.
On the other hand, so I recommend you you have it at your hands, then send it yourself after uploading the copy of your official high school transcripts to the system, not your school.
Okay. We have another question here. I stopped taking a non-essential class that it's not required for graduation. Does that mean my unconditional offer has changed? No. I mean, if you have an unconditional offer, it's a final offer, let's say, because you were offered admission based on everything in your application, not just which classes you were taking. Okay. If a student would like to repass the exam in order to improve the score, is this option available for such cases? I guess when you mean exam, you're referring to one of the standardized tests, such as SAT-1 or ACT. If it's with regards of scholarship changes, for example, I mean, there really are not scholarship reconsiderations, because they're based on not only the exam scores, they're also based on the extracurricular activities of the students, their GPA, the classes they have taken, the motivation letter, the references. So you're free to do so and submit it, but the chances are very little that it will mean a change in terms of scholarship. If what you mean is that if you obtain a higher SAT score, will it change? It depends if you have a conditional offer or unconditional offer. So in this case, I would kindly ask that you email us about the specific case that you're asking about, okay? There's a question here, I think, for Chara. Do we have to apostille the original or the copy of the diploma and transcript?
Original.
The original, yeah. So apostille should be on original documents. Thank you. Let's see if we have any other questions. Okay. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, then I would like to thank you for attending. Of course, again, you cannot, like we're so, even though we know some of you, we don't know some of you. We are extremely proud that you have been offered admission to our university. Please know that, a big part of the challenge you have already kind of made it through by being admitted. Now it's time to enjoy the next step, which is joining our university. We like to keep in touch. I'll reemphasize, please do get in touch via email. We try to reply to emails within 24 hours, not during weekends or out of office hours, but we're available for any questions. If not, then I'm going to ask my colleagues to also maybe, I don't know if Nasir is here. Nasir, do you want to give any final kind of message to our newly admitted students?
Well, I would like to just say, good luck in in the beginning of the journey. Koç University is a wonderful place. I'm really grateful I was in. I might be here for my master's also for next year. So this is a place. It's difficult to leave when you come, and I hope also. Most importantly, that we have the chance to come back to campus. The campus is really very, very beautiful. Just good luck in whatever your path you take. And also, if any of you would like to have any questions or anything about any particular topic, you can always also contact me on my email. Which if I can write it in the chat as well. Yeah, so ready to help anytime.
Thank you very much, Nasir. Okay, so with that, then we're going to close today's event. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to my colleagues Ahmed, Levine, Sikrimet from ICO, Efe, Chara, and our colleagues who have also left us, because I think it's important that that we start to get to know each other as the new kind of group of students will join our university next year. So have a very good weekend. Please stay, healthy, safe. Do not, expose yourself so that, like you don't get COVID or anything like that. And yes, that's my wishes. So with that, I'm going to say bye and then end the meeting for today. Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.